Welcome, everyone, to the third episode of Top Guy Theater. Today, we're watching WrestleMania 3 in honor of Bobby the Brain Heenan, which was covered on Grillin' JR this past week. Here with me today, my usual band of brothers, starting in the Northeast, Frank Bruno, Antonio Santos. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing good.
What's up, guys? I just invite you all to tighten up because we're 1-0.
So are the Bears, so I wouldn't brag too hard. Up, down south in Arizona, Karl Mandick, Coach Rosie.
Now, Frank, you are 1-0, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention you are pretty much de facto champion of WHW Trivia, getting the grand prize, the WWF/E Encyclopedia signed by Tony Schiavone. But I do have a question for you, and this was a bonus question not asked. This is Final Jeopardy. It's potpourri. And the question is this. Combined fast food, myself, and the Attitude Era. I'm sorry, your time is up. The answer was Karl Man Dick to go. Karl Man Dick to go. That was what we were looking for.
We're done.
Bravo. Coach?
That was a great time.
What's happening on your side of Arizona?
Well, on my side of Arizona, it's nothing but clean, beautiful sunshine, kids swimming in the pool, and I'm with some of the greatest guys here. Want to appreciate a couple new guys coming in. Matt started up with us this week. We got Phil. He's been doing pop-ins, but it's nice to have some fresh blood because we got plenty of dumbasses on this crew like Santos. I need some fresh perspective. So, guys, welcome.
Coach kind of buried the lead, but let's introduce our two special guest top guys this week. Our new gimmick attorney in Lawrence, Kansas, Matt Levitt.
Well, Wichita, Kansas, but yes, gimmick attorney extraordinaire.
And then Phil Jackson, 9 NBA championship rings, former coach of Chicago Bulls and the LA Lakers and the New York Knicks. Phil, how are you?
I don't like to brag. I just try to keep that on the lowdown. But I'm doing wonderful here, and all I got to say is, what you going to do, brother, when we went all over this WrestleMania 3, the Hulkamaniacs went wild on you?
So, for those who maybe this is your first time, we started this show 3 weeks ago. We watched SummerSlam 97. Great show. Then we watched Road Wild 97. It was the show. Now we're watching WrestleMania 3. So every show from here on out is going to correspond with the topics covered during the week on adfreeshows.com. So this week, Bobby the Brain Heenan was on Grillin' JR. We put up a poll, and WrestleMania 3 took it. So we're going to watch WrestleMania 3. We're going to watch the great Bobby the Brain Heenan, which, by the way, sporting the shirt today, Bobby Heenan. And also, before we get started, if you're new to this show, we like to have some adult beverages while we're watching these. And as to give you a hint on what I'm drinking today, having a little Miller High Life, courtesy of Steve Winwood, back in the High Life again. Gentlemen, around the horn, what are we having to drink here today? We got some Tito's vodka, Coach Rosie. That's your norm. Frank's having water.
I have to, though. I can't drink.
We know. Diet Mountain Dew. We got a Rip It energy drink that I've never even fucking heard of.
Hey,
and
no
Coach
worries,
Jackson's
Frank.
got 99
With
bananas.
vodka.
But Karl, what are you doing over there? Water?
With vodka.
Karl, you muted yourself again. God damn it.
Move on to Santos.
Okay, I have agua and Deep Eddies cranberry. It's out of Austin, Texas. Vodka, and might make fun of it for a flavored vodka. Look it up. And I got a certain female, well-known person in the Ad Free Shows family hooked on Screwball last night. Just so.
I have an idea who that is.
Don't tell James Sorensen.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus.
I'm leaving that in. All right, so let's go ahead.
God.
Pull up WrestleMania 3 on your WWE Network. We'll give you a couple seconds here to get ready. You guys, there is 12 matches on this card. And I think the thing that weirded me out the most looking over this card, there's 2 matches in between Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat and Hogan and Andre. 2. That's crazy.
Can we track? Oh, can I? I just want to vote to track the opening because I like the theme music.
So I found out the hard way on last week's show. If I track it, my microphone just happens to pick it up through my earbuds or my earphones.
Then what I'm going to do is I do want to hear it, but I'm going to mute myself starting now.
All right, so I'm going to assume everyone's got everything pulled up. So let's go ahead, get ready to get going, and we're going to press play in 3, 2, 1, play, and I will track it as well. Little soulful jazz music to start us off.
Look at those graphics.
Show comes to you live from Pontiac, Michigan, in the Pontiac Silverdome. The now
Look at that crowd.
world famous arena, which is now a parking lot. Oh, look at this guy. We got to track this. All right, I guess we'll wait until he actually talks. All right, here it goes. Yeah, have you guys watched the so one of the DVDs, so I try to put DVDs and memorabilia out that matches the show. One of the DVDs here is the real life story of WrestleMania. Have you guys watched that?
I don't
Yeah, I
think
have it.
So
I have it. It's good.
this section, and specifically this instance with Vince out front, kind of bringing the crowd in and then introducing Aretha Franklin for America the Beautiful. He said that while he was doing that, he almost broke down crying because the only thing he could think of was his dad, and his dad just passed away just before this. So I mean, I always have a kind of a different view on this opening scene from WrestleMania 3. I know it's super Vince and super animated and everything else, but it's just when I hear that, you know, Vince is standing in front of 93,000 people allegedly, and it's, I don't know, it just hits me in a different way now. So let's go around the horn. I'm sorry, Frank, were you saying something?
No, I was. Can you hear me? I'm just sorry.
Yes.
I was just saying I have that. I have the DVD you were referring to. I think it's fantastic.
Mine's over my shoulder. It's right here in the middle. This shoulder. So let's go around the horn. I'm going to ask you when you first watched WrestleMania 3, because I don't think any of us, maybe Coach, might have been the only one old enough to actually watch this live. And 2, where does this WrestleMania rank? So, Coach, since you're the only one that actually probably could have been old enough to watch this live, did you watch this live? And where does this WrestleMania rank with you?
As a matter of fact, I did watch it live. My father, we're from San Francisco. He took me to the Hyatt Auditorium, which was kind of a swanky joint in San Francisco. I don't know how much it was. You went around, you sat down. It was a big movie theater.
So you watched it close circuit.
That crowd was pretty quiet, but I didn't stay quiet. How would I rank that one? Top 5.
Top 5.
Not the best. Top 5, because you always show respect, and it wasn't the original, but it was what put them on the map.
Yep. Antonio, when did you first watch WrestleMania 3, and where do you rank it all time?
WrestleMania 3, that'd be, I don't even remember exactly when, but I did watch it. Definitely in one of my top 5.
Okay. You got 2 top 5s. Karl, when did you first watch WrestleMania 3, and where do you rank it?
I've never seen it all the way through.
Okay, this is gonna be great. Then.
I've seen obviously Steamboat, Savage, Hogan, Andre, and a couple other matches.
Boy.
Wait till you see Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik against the Killer Bees. Son, they tear it down.
That's why.
Can I do an impersonation?
Please. I wish you
When
would.
Oh man, just let me tell you, you're gonna get the Iron Sheik, and I'm just gonna tell you that I'm going to handle you,
I'm
break
nervous
your
right now.
back, and fuck you old country way.
I actually won the Vegas bet that we would get somebody referencing raw dogging before 2 p.m. my time. That was the over under.
You did. You did.
West Coast time. Yeah. So I had the under, and we got it at 1:53 p.m. here on the West Coast.
Mybookie.com.
I'll break your ass.
So what do you rank this one, Karl? All time.
You know what? That I think is your best question because I had to think about one.
And also I should have prefaced this beforehand. I don't just mean this as a card on its whole because a lot of them there's 12 matches for fuck's sake. But I guess as far as maybe your impact personally off of this show, there's Gorilla Monsoon, Bob Uecker, Jesse Ventura, and I don't know the woman.
Mary Hart.
Mary Hart.
So she was like I believe a talk show just a bit outside.
So where does this WrestleMania hit you in the field compared to the rest of
this is and I'm going to preface this by saying I'm going to say it's 1, and here's why. This is number 1 because the first one to me, if somebody said paraphrase WrestleMania, Madison Square Garden, I would say biggest dice roll ever.
Yep.
That $1 million that Vince leveraged from Turner, it's a dice roll. 2, one of the most ahead of the times technology-driven presentations in 3 different locations, 3 different time zones, 3 major cities.
Yep.
But this show, just this, of seeing Gorilla and Uecker and Body and the crowd and the lights, this is what made it the Super Bowl of wrestling. This is when you see the fans tailgating outside in the lines and the atmosphere. This took WrestleMania from something that was exciting and no doubt was going to make the headlines when you had your Cyndi Laupers. And your
Tony Schiavone, Tom Zink is on my television.
There he is, Z-Man.
The Can-Am connection.
And Rocco, the model, Rocco.
Yeah. And why is Mr. Fuji with
it's
Bob
Orton and
Don Morocco?
Don Morocco. He must have been managing Morocco.
What's more important to note is that the cast is off, gentlemen. That means some sort of miracle must have taken place. Brother Love must have healed that
I didn't even
arm.
catch that. Good call.
Oh my gosh, that is a great catch.
So let's continue the round here, Frank. When did you first watch WrestleMania 3, and where do you rank it with your personal favorites?
So, for me, WrestleMania 3 was the holy grail. I'd seen every up to, which we're talking. So the first time I ever saw it was 1995, but I had been trying to get it and see it for 7 or 8 years, and I'd seen every WrestleMania up to that point. So I sent away for it through Titan Sports and Coliseum Video, and I got it in. And first time I watched it was, this is going to sound a little weird, but it came in the day of my grandfather's funeral. So to calm myself, I went home and I watched the entire show. And I need to agree with Karl as far as it being number 1, because I think this is when, like he said, he kind of stole my thunder a little bit. This is when I feel like this put the World Wrestling Federation on the map to be able to draw 93,000 people. So I know there was a ton of stadium shows before this, but I'm fairly certain this is the first time that a stadium was ever sold out.
Oh yeah.
And so this is when it got put on the map. So this is probably, as far as being put on the map, number 1. I think there's other better cards for WrestleMania.
Oh, for sure.
I think the WrestleMania 5's card was better.
Wrestling-wise, this is not the best WrestleMania by far.
Right. At the time it was, but
Yes.
just for pretty much solidifying and putting them solely on the map as the promotion, it's this show right here.
We'll move on to one of our special guests today, Phil Jackson. Phil, when did you first watch WrestleMania 3, and where do you rank it all time?
Oh, I watched WrestleMania 3 when I was either 10 or 11 years old. So, and I'm 38 now. So this was what year? This was 87.
87.
87. So yeah, I was 5 years old when this came out. So 5 years after the fact. And I'm not going to say, be cheesy and say, oh, top five. I couldn't quite give it a number, but I would say fourth or fifth for sure. But as far as Hulkamania goes, you can't beat WrestleMania 3 for the height of Hulkamania for me.
Mm-hmm. Matt?
I would have been about the same age, 10 or 11 on video. I was 4 when this launched. But from just a where this ranks perspective, and I talked about this on my chat pack, this is my one. This is what launched me into wrestling fandom. Just the image from a trading card of the Hogan Andre stare down from this show, and then the image of the scoop slam, the body slam on Andre. That's it for me. Then I was off to the races as a little Hulkamaniac, and I'm sure we'll get way more into this soon. But you look at Brain and the corollary starting here in the symmetry with his career at Hogan's, clear through to WCW and the heel turn down the road, 92 with Flair, and then you look at Savage and Steamboat and what ends up this becoming this launch off point into their 89s and the angles that they end up having separate and distinct. It's my creme de la creme, if you will. Not necessarily from a complete in-ring perspective outside of the Savage Steamboat match, but it's my number one.
So let's Frank kind of hit on it, and now you just did as well. So let's kind of dig into the historical context and historical importance of this show. So 85 and 86, WrestleMania 1 and 2, which, by the way, WrestleMania 1, March 31st, 1985. I was born March 30th, 1985. So in WrestleMania 1, I was 1 day old. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. So with up until now, and I actually, even in WrestleMania 3, you didn't have pay-per-view, or at least it was not what it would become. So what you had here is you had your people in attendance, and then your major metropolitan areas around the country would watch this in a movie theater on what they called closed-circuit television. So only those participating theaters or locations would be getting the feed to this show, not individual households. That wouldn't come, I think, until WrestleMania 6, I think, or 5 was the first one. So now down south, Bill Watts' territory used to run the Superdome in Louisiana. They never got close to 93,000 people. And now, of course, I kind of mentioned allegedly early in the show, if you listen to WrestleMania 3 on Something to Wrestle, supposedly the number's closer to 78, which, I mean, really, we're splitting hairs when there's that many people. And
wait a minute, what did I miss there, TJ? Wait a minute, they're saying there wasn't 93,000 people?
Yes, the report, the rumor is that the 93,000 was inflated. Meltzer reported 78.
I refuse to believe that.
Okay, then.
Go ahead.
So, and also in world class, they used to run Texas Stadium, which is where the Cowboys played forever. And even when they had their Parade of Champions as their memorial show when David Von Erich passed away in '84, and it was main evented by Ric Flair and Kerry Von Erich for the world title, I think
Did you see The Rock?
Yep.
Don Morocco gets screwed.
But the Can-Am connection, Tom Zank's a handsome man. I think in '84 it's Parade of Champions at Texas Stadium. I think they only got 45,000.
Well, all right, hopping in there on this discussion. I actually mentioned this last week. So think about how hot WWF is at this time. 6 months prior to this, they set the wrestling record, attendance record at the big event in Toronto, where they had 60 some odd thousand at the old, it was during actually the World's Fair that was taking place. That was the record. So then this then reportedly becomes the indoor attendance record. This is what I didn't know. Just finding this out, and I don't know if this is in your notes. So I was at WrestleMania 32. People forget that, again, I've mentioned before, there was the Wi-Fi went down as people were trying to get in. So like nobody, the crowd, even for the opening ladder match, is kind of sparse. And the second match was Styles and Jericho.
Was
and
that San Francisco?
No, that was Dallas. That
okay,
was,
you're at the one in Texas Stadium.
With over 100,000. But this is what I didn't know: the indoor attendance record stood until January 27th, 1999, when it was surpassed by the Mass held by Pope John Paul II at the TWA Dome, right there in Phil Jackson's neck of the woods of St. Louis. Isn't that crazy that wrestling had something and then it took the frickin' Pope to be, and not the Pope from TNA, like the Pope.
Well, even more bizarre is the next wrestling event to beat the attendance record of WrestleMania 3 was WrestleMania 32, the one you were at.
I will say I have never been the difference between
Look at that.
Yeah, the difference between that and 30 is New Orleans was infinite times louder because of the acoustics, because of the cement in the Silverdome, brother. Oops, I mean Superdome. And what you know, I'll save it for when Hogan does his promo. But Jerry's World is so large and AT&T is so massive that it was as if the sound would go. We were kind of on the floor near the ramp. It did this.
What the hell are you doing, Karl?
It went up and then it came crashing down. No, it literally did. It was like the sound in Dallas went like it panned up and then down. At the Superdome, it was straight down. It's like straight down into your freaking noggin. Like I was talking to, the only thing louder that I could think of is I was talking to Matt about this, is being at a game at Lawrence Fieldhouse, seeing KU Ohio State college basketball.
So if someone can do me a favor and give me a time check, because I accidentally hit spacebar while I was laughing at Karl and paused my feed.
I'm at 17 even right now.
Track it. Billy Jack Haynes
is out.
Dr. Death Steve Williams looks really good here.
Hey.
Can we talk about real quick how his thing says BJ on it?
Hold on, let's get one more time to see where I'm at. I'm at 17.
Better than TJ.
I really want one of those ring cards. Just from the front of my car, from front of my driveway to my front door. I would love to have one of those.
Frank, where's your feed at right now?
TJ 1732.
Oh, I'm way ahead. Let me know when you get to 1747.
I'm at 1742.
I'm at
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, quit making me laugh so I quit pausing my feed.
We are all liars going off of Phil's point. If we won the lottery, one of us, one of the first things we purchase is no doubt one of those scissor lift ring, even if it doesn't have to be an actual one. I mean, if it is, great. But one of the first things I'm buying just to go around my rich guy mansion, fuck it. I'll take it to the store if I have to.
Yes.
I would.
There was a question on Ask Conrad last night. Like, what piece of kind of unheralded memorabilia would you want if you could buy it?
Was that his answer?
No, I can't remember what his answer was. Oh, I don't remember what his answer was. It might have been the 92 Rumble robe of Flair. I can't recall off the top of my head, but
that's what it was.
To me, for me personally, Heenan's ring jacket, that one. That's what I would want. Heenan's ring jacket from WrestleMania 3.
Coach, no nights.
No, I was listening to something
Else,
Nah.
not listening to the show.
Not listening to the show, listening to the kid.
Wah.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at this shit.
Billy Jack Haynes, Portland's finest. Guy is as thick as an oak tree.
Unfortunately, he's insane.
TJ,
But I will say I did borrow Bobby's coat from my picture.
TJ, not to interrupt the flow, but I want to just see if you can spice this in down the line. You mentioned wrestling memorabilia.
Bobby, how's that coffee?
I think Coach has had some chocolate cake today.
I would like to know if you could have any one original set. Now, it can be from any pay-per-view, any television program, any WWF from this time forward. So from WrestleMania 3 to current day, what would it be? You get the authentic one, the one used.
That is a broad scope, sir.
Because they brought it up on, if anybody caught Something to Wrestle, which was phenomenal this week. Yes,
Absolutely.
It was great. I'm going to get mine out of the way. I want the original Raw set with the RAW.
So this is just like a Raw piece of.
No, it could be. You could have Armageddon 01.
Oh, so it's a piece of the set from that era. Okay.
You could have the giant you could have the fist going through the glass.
Well, mine's WCW Chi-Town Rumble.
That
badass. Counts. That counts.
That's badass.
Here, I got one for you. I would want the taxi coming out of the wall of Royal Rumble 2000.
Oh yeah! Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm thinking I'd want the original WCW Halloween Havoc set. Or the one from like 96, 97.
That's a good
one. It's Halloween Havoc.
Or one of the cars from Dude Love Steve Austin. I think it was Over the Edge 97.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my.
That's got the Briscoe brothers auto body on it, spray painted on it.
I love that he tweeted out.
I think we'd have to have like 5.
I love that Briscoe tweeted out after if anybody can catch the parking lot backstage brawl on AEW, he's like, come on over to Briscoe's body shop, get that fixed up. And then all the rumors start flying.
You know what, Karl, you brought it up. Let's discuss it, because when I first heard Meltzer gave that Street Fight 5-star. Now, granted, I'm going to full disclosure, I haven't watched it yet.
Neither have I.
Great fight.
So
Great
I'm not going to trash it or promote it or whatever. I haven't watched it. But when somebody showed me the list of matches that have not got 5 stars, and this one did, including Shawn and Undertaker both times at WrestleMania, Flair and Steamboat, like all these matches got listed, and then this one does.
Did Steamboat Savage here get 5?
4 3/4.
Great question. I don't think they did.
4 3/4. You heard it here first.
Let's Google. Let's get on the old Google.
I did not. By the way, that's breaking news to me. That my brother said it was can't miss, and I keep procrastinating. So literally after this, I'm gonna go and watch it.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
I literally right after this, yeah.
Okay, well, real quick, while TJ's doing the Google thing, I'm just going to tell you, I will never and ever, ever, ever say that anything that has the term street fight on it is ever 5-star. Was it the best street fight I've ever seen? Yes, it was. But when you're trying to call a wrestling match, whether it's got how many stars, a street fight ain't one of them. but it was the best street fight I've ever seen.
So you're going to sit here and tell me that Proud and Powerful and the fucking Best Friends had a better street fight than Triple H and Cactus Jack at Royal Rumble 2000?
Wait,
Yes.
No.
Whoa,
Hold on. No. So
Wait, who are the opponents?
Rephrase it. Let me rephrase it.
Proud and
Let me rephrase
Powerful
Parking
against
lot
the Best
brawl.
Friends.
Parking lot brawl. Not best. My bad. Not best street fight.
So Savage
Parking lot
Steamboat
brawl.
got 4.5 stars.
That's bullshit.
There's been a lot of talk about this with Dave, how he used to be, and Cornette has talked about this too, because Cornette, I guess, with Dave, helped create the star rating and the star rating system. And
Okay.
he talks about how Dave used to be a lot more conservative.
And you have to be there.
when he would hand out. Like 5 stars had to be something that he'd never seen before, just something that completely rewrote the way that wrestling was done. A lot of folks will say that Savage Steamboat's the greatest wrestling match of all time.
It's
the
certainly
best.
in the conversation.
And now he's handing out
Matt,
6
I'm gonna
and
agree with
7
you.
on the reg.
Yeah. And I, again, full disclosure, haven't watched Omega vs. Okada, any of them. But when I heard they got 6 stars, I'm like, what the fuck are we even doing anymore?
Okay, can we? If it is our birthday, somehow it falls on there, or it's like our birthday week. Can it be? Can we like do a bonus or skew the format to where we get to pick a watch along?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down to
Okay.
watch anything. I just haven't watched.
I'll give you guys my New Japan account, which again I freaked out when I paid 99 when I saw 99.99 come out of my account, and I was like, no. And then I looked up what the conversion was to yen.
Oh,
It's $9.
no, that's not bad. Actually, it's pretty good.
Very
By the
good.
way, not a terrible match here between Billy Jack Haynes and Hercules Hernandez.
It's still going.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
he didn't get in the
Oh,
kick
he
in.
didn't get in a kick in.
Right in front of the referee, too, and he didn't call it. Whoops.
Well, my birthday's next month, so keep that in
There you
mind.
go. There you go, Karl. There's your opening.
Hey, my birthday was 2 days ago. I didn't get anything.
Your birthday was not 2 days ago.
It was.
It was all over Twitter.
It was the other Phil Jackson, the one from Montana.
Ah,
You can't pull
All
one
right,
over my
you
eyes.
just threw me off, Phil, because I'm gonna be like, how did I miss that?
But
What the hell?
You
you
didn't.
gave me that sweet intro with all of those accolades from the
I
same
did.
guy on Twitter. So,
Yeah.
which
This
is
is
it?
wrestling.
Oh, I see.
WRASSLIN. That's wrestling. So Hercules Hernandez, especially in this era, is an anomaly to me because he had the look. The dude's. I mean, look at this guy. I don't know why he never took that next step.
In order to level him up, he would have had to work with Hulk.
But why do you think he didn't? He worked with Warrior.
He did work with Warrior. I think part of the thing about Hulk is Hulk's physical stature was such that you had to have someone, and you'll see this again in the way that you see how much bigger Andre is.
Mm-hmm.
To really create the risk to Hogan, you had to have someone that was physically larger than him, and it's just, I mean, I don't know where Hercules was, but I don't think I bet you that Hogan's probably taller than Hercules. And I bet that there was a degree of Vince's size gimmick combined with he wanted people that created a little bit of a David and Goliath, and you're trying to create a David and Goliath standard versus a genetic freak in Hogan.
Right. I hope I hope Coach is not trying to talk because I muted him.
No, it's you're exactly right, Matt. It's the old it's the Monster Factory. I mean, if you look at WCW, the Dungeon of Doom, you know, they just ripped off WWE's formula, but they actually just gave it a label, calling it the Dungeon of Doom. Just crank out one monster after another for Hulk to crush.
Man, the Dungeon of Doom is such an issue with me because the gimmick's fucking awful. I mean, it's probably the worst stable of all time. Like I can't even think of one.
I really go back and forth on it. Yes. No. Yes.
Well done.
No.
Karl's on it today. The Zodiac, gave us a little Zodiac. But I don't. But like the guys in the faction are good. But you turned Earthquake into the fucking Shark, and then Avalanche, and then you made Brutus the fucking Barber Beefcake into the Butcher, and then the Zodiac Man, and then the Big Booty Man. Kamala was Kamala, and then they had Mang, who for whatever reason was never Mang should have been the feature of that group. Why he never was, I don't get. Now, obviously, when the Giant came around in '95, then I get it. But
Ming is a terrifying individual. From the stories I heard, I would never, ever, ever want to piss off Ming in real life. Ever.
Coach
He's a
Rosie just
sweetheart
wandering
in
around.
real life.
I've heard that.
I got a chance to meet him at an indie show where they brought in him and the Barbarian. They couldn't have been nicer guys. But yeah, from a perspective of being in the ring with him and or like never would cross the man.
Hey, look at Frank.
I don't know.
What?
King Kong Bundy. I don't. I
You
never.
just say, here comes Frank.
King Kong Bundy. He's saying you look like King Kong Bundy. I don't know why that's so bad for. I mean, you don't have a neck.
It's a 5 count.
You'd probably look just like
I
that.
don't
in a
have a
singlet.
net.
That's not what I was going for.
I call this my
Look at
little
this shit.
my little hangy ball sack.
I love that. So we were actually talking about this show or this match specifically earlier this week when we were doing the rundown of the show, and I love the fact it's King Kong Bundy and Hillbilly Jim, and 4 little people, and 3 of them have the word "little" in their name.
Listen, are we going to do this?
What was the real, like, borderline bad
Little
one?
Beaver.
Oh, that's it.
Little Beaver.
Look at this shit.
I'm gonna munch some Little Beaver.
They got a little pimp and a little Indian chief, Joe.
Oh,
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm sure that the Native American gimmick would really play well in 2020.
Especially with a character named Hillbilly Jim.
That might not go over well. That does not.
So, Matt Levitt, what is your favorite Little Beaver match?
Oh, God, you just picked them both up.
Velveteen Dream style.
This one?
Velveteen Dream style.
What's the time count?
Oh, God.
I'm at 31:55.
Yeah, we're right on the money with you and me, TJ. We're on the same team.
I like it.
Somehow.
The Haiti Kid.
Hey,
Mud
now
Lick,
he's doing a
Kentucky.
dance.
Hillbilly Jim from Mudlick, Kentucky.
It is gonna rain.
How are you?
I know, my gosh. Getting back to that, hey, how are you? From was that WrestleMania 8 or 9 from Heenan?
Which one?
I think it was 8 when Tatanka's folk
Tatanka
came out.
comes out. And
8. That was 8. Yeah, it was Tatanka, Rick Martel.
I'm
I hate Tatanka.
I'm gonna look something up for you guys because it pertains to this match, but I want to make sure I have the verbatim correct.
Who hates Tatanka? Why do you hate Tatanka?
I just don't like him as a person. His character was okay.
So you don't like Chris Chavis?
What?
Can I ask a
You don't like
quick
Chris
question,
Chavis?
guys?
Yeah, Chris
sorry.
Chavis is a
Okay.
dick.
We'll get into that in a minute. I'm interested now. But
Hey, so real quick, I didn't
so-
mean to go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's real quick. I'm Little Beaver is the Indian gentleman, or
no, it's Lord Littlebrook.
okay, let's Lord Littlebrook. So Little Beaver has his hairdo. It looks like he's got a '70s bush on the back of his head. Like it looks like someone hasn't shaved their pubes in a while. Like you know what I'm trying to say? I know it's a
So
terrible thing to say.
Oh,
at this shit.
double rowboat.
Look at this shit. So one of them. So the guy in the red tights is Little Tokyo.
Oh.
The black guy is Haiti Kid, and then Lord
There's
Littlebrook is the Native American, and I
who's
cannot remember the other
from Mexico City.
guy.
He's
And
Native
I know we're
American
kinda-
like Chief J Strongbow.
I know we're kind of having fun with this right now, but here's legitimate truth. These guys in this era were actually a fucking draw. I mean, they really were. Nobody bought WrestleMania 3 to watch this. But as far as like independent shows and house shows and stuff like that, they did. They were a draw. And they were really a draw until probably the early to mid 90s.
Well,
You know-
I'm not gonna lie, man. I really liked Max Mini. And what is he?
Great
The
example.
'97
Max Mini
Royal
was
Rumble
fucking
pre-show.
huge. In
Yeah,
Mexico.
I liked him. Remember when they did little Mankind and Little Vader? Like I was digging that crap.
We'll see.
But I keep
Yeah,
cutting
we'll
off
see.
Phil, so I'm gonna shut.
For my money, though, in my extensive knowledge of matches, my all-time favorite Little Beaver match took place on June.
He actually has one.
Yeah,
Jesus.
June 28th of 2008. For anyone that doesn't know, that's the night I got married.
I hope you got a little beaver that night.
Best Little Beaver match of my life, buddy.
We came full circle. I thought you were Little Beaver in Little Tokyo, 1981, Madison Square Garden. I thought you were going with that.
Tokyo Dome, 6 stars.
Yes, there you go.
The hot tag.
King Kong Bundy. What was he missing?
Better knees.
Well, I mean, in the 90s, sure, but here in 87, like he's 1 year off of main eventing WrestleMania 2 with Hogan.
No,
And I was on the
I
second
see-
match of the card with little people.
And I say that in jest. I think more than
Well,
anything,
part of it's true.
his movement was a factor. I think the other factor is again, it all goes back to Vince at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
WrestleMania 2, Karl pointed out, it's technologically speaking, and three cards and 3 separate time zones and beating it all in, making it happen. That's incredible, and it's really, really forward thinking. But it was kind of a commercial, or at least a critical flop. It was widely panned.
Critical flop. Was it commercial? It was pretty successful. But,
Commercial it was, you're
Yeah.
right. So
and I hope people understand how impossible WrestleMania 2 was in 86. Like, it was absurd to do what they did.
I
Carl,
actually,
looks like you have something on your mind.
No, yeah. May I, for a second here?
Antonio's here too, by the way.
May I, while this match is going on, if you guys can, you should be able to hear it through my headset. We do not condone the
Oh boy.
what is now a derogatory term for a small person, but this is the promo after Little Tokyo won at Blackjack Brawl with Herb Abrams. I'm gonna play it
Oh,
through
the
here.
UW. Yeah, that's gonna be one of our bonus shows, by the way.
Okay. Just to give a taste.
Little Tokyo, ladies and gentlemen, the first time in wrestling history, World Midget Champion Little Tokyo. What do you have to say? Sosaki? No, sake. Sake? Yeah. Drink sake tonight. I can drink sake tonight. You say kampai? Kampai, yes. I say. How do I know kampai? I used to be married to a Japanese.
Wow.
Do you know Kampai? I used to be married to a Japanese woman. Oh, Herb Abrams.
Ouch, kabibos.
Oh boy, la cocaína.
So,
Mr. Electricity.
you know what's funny is when we were doing our, hey, I have this idea for a bonus show.
Oh yeah, great.
UWF Beach Blast and Blackjack Brawl
Yes.
were the first two that we thought of. And I'm thinking sometime in the next 2 weeks we need to find us two My Push guys and watch either. I will not actually have planned that. We're gonna have to watch UWF Blackjack Brawl.
Bring James in. He's been texting me.
Sorry, Miss Liz just showed up on the screen, and I lost my train of thought.
I don't see Miss
James.
Liz yet. I still see Billy, Jim, and Haiti Kid.
Oh,
That's where I'm at.
There she
There's
is.
Miss Liz. Yeah.
I'm at 30,
Hey.
38-58, so 39 on the money right now.
TJ and I were still in sync.
I like it. And I paused twice.
Man, I wish he was
I
still
would
alive.
love to.
Let's track it. Let's track it. So, Ricky Steamboat is never going to be known as the greatest promo artist of all time, but I think his promo here before his match tonight is incredible. When he says the weeks, the days, the minutes, the seconds, we have reached our moment, to me is phenomenal. Now we got Bobby Heenan, King Harley Race. How old was Harley Race in '87?
56.
I think about 64.
Let's find out.
Oof,
I want to say he was 45. I think that's how old he was at WrestleMania 3.
Fun piece of trivia while you're looking that up. This was actually the last televised match for Little Beaver. True story.
This one is?
Yeah.
That's sad.
First televised match was the NWA Mid-America Florence show, November of 1955. Little Beaver defeated Otto Baumann in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
So here at this card, Harley Race was about a week away from turning 44.
TJ, let me know when you hit 41 minutes exactly.
54, 55, 58, 59, 41.
Boom.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now we
Track
got King Harley. Let's track it. You got it right. All right. I just smoked 2 packs of Cowboy Killers in the locker room, my friend.
Did anybody ever hear the Harley Race story of trying to give Steve Austin traction?
What is going on?
Wet ass pussy. Look at that girl, Joe. That girl is beautiful.
I love that you played that while the fabulous Moolah was on screen.
Dude, trust me, she puts you into moves you never believe.
Okay, Coach, can I ask you a question? Have you had some chocolate cake today?
He was having chocolate cake when we started the show.
Oh, all the time. All the time.
All the time.
Pantry's always full.
I'd like to know who the ring girls were, actually, those valets.
I was just about to say, Karl, that we were talking about getting the little motor scooters. If we ever became rich, I would also like to get the girls standing outside to unhook the ropes for me. I'm not sure my wife would go for that one though.
Yeah, I would like if I was going to the grocery store, I would try to get one of those little sidecar deals you see like on motorcycles, have them in it, because I'm sure as hell not. If I'm that rich, I'm not opening up my own ring rope.
Nope.
I'll be like, ladies, get out. Look at this pretentious dick. Oh, I'm sorry that I have Benjamin Button's disease and I would like to drive around a scissor lift mini ring.
I'm rich. I don't wear shoes in public. I can't get out of my ring.
I would probably request that Rebel in that that picture I retweeted. I would like to get her doing that exact pose.
Did you guys see Medusa's picture?
I've not seen.
Oh my
that picture's 10 years
that
ago.
blew my mind.
Holy
shit! You could not convince me. If I didn't know who that was,
Frank, can you
not convince me how old she was. Could not. I'd say she was like 38.
Rebel is in
AEW.
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 Right, all right.
Britt Baker,
Wait.
her friend there.
Right.
Rita?
Send me the picture. Wait, did you tweet it out?
I think I did, but I can resend it.
All right.
I love that coach's reaction
on
to it
fire.
was she shaves.
She shaves. Sometimes an older broad likes to keep a little foliage in there, for the older guys. No, older guys weren't raised with that Brazilian blowout. We like a little something when we put the nose in the credit card.
We're off the rails already.
I was to say.
Would you stop?
Right, off the rails and waxing. I did watch all the way through, and yes, I was a complete bitch and cried at the end of David Arquette. You cannot kill David Arquette.
Wow. Yeah.
Is it really that good?
It's very good.
It
extremely well made.
I was in tears. The only other time I was in tears was wrestling related, was the end of with the silver lining of Benoit and woman or Nancy, Benoit's sister, them coming together.
That was
Definitely.
That got me.
That's probably one of the best things Chris Jericho has ever accomplished in his entire life.
His narration is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
glad.
the hardest one I had to get through for Dark Side of the Ring was Owen.
That was rough.
So a little historical context of the match we're watching now with Harley Race and JYD. Unfortunately, here in this match, again, Harley Race is 44. JYD is not what he used to be. 7 years prior to this, so in 1980, Harley Race is arguably, actually probably not even arguably, the greatest NWA champion ever.
Ever.
And
Talk of the walk.
JYD was the Hulk Hogan of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Georgia. And
Ernie Ladd.
So, and now, unfortunately, this is what we're left with. But, I mean, even here at 44, Harley Race is bumping his ass off.
Remember, he got in 2 boating accidents by this time.
Yes. And a couple car accidents.
Yep. Blew up his boat with him on it.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that with Vader and WCW? Blew up a boat.
Yeah, that was for Beach Blast.
Real quick, one of the things that does stand out, it stood out in you'll see it occasionally. There are 2 very placed high billboards, and it only sticks out because they're both Marlboro or a cigarette company, and you just don't see tobacco ads. You see them on NASCAR, you see them on everything, but it's like there's only 2 billboards that are like visible in this entire thing. Other people have signs; they're right there. You caught them real quick, but it's that does have like some cowboy with a cigarette. I just noticed that, and I was like, huh. You see those all the time on the highway. You see Cool or Virginia Slim. Nope.
And I always go back to George Carlin, who always said that kids don't smoke cigarettes because the camel and sunglasses told them to.
Oh, yeah, it did me. No, I'm a Newport guy.
Well, I actually smoke.
Carl, are you gonna?
Camel lights.
Carl, are you gonna sing "A Whole New World" today?
That sounded so innocent.
I am not, but after Lou Williams and the Clippers were knocked out of the playoffs, and he really started to gain the moniker of Lemon Pepper Lou for leaving the bubble, going to a funeral, leaving said funeral, and then getting chicken wings at the strip club Magic City. Yeah, I want to go to Atlanta really bad.
Can we talk about that? Who in the fuck gets chicken wings at a titty bar?
No, they're no joke. So I sent the article to Lauren, and she's like, no, it's verified. Like, one of the most sought after. And then when I lived in West Palm Beach, they had like an amazing. I'm talking, and when I say amazing, like Ruth Chris or like Morton's level, like really good meat. But it was a steakhouse, but it was like all nude strip club that you go to. So it was like somewhat classy. but these wings, no joke, have been on like diners, drive-ins, and dives. They've been in Food Network's like top 10 wings, like in the United States or on the planet several times. These lemon pepper wings from Magic City in Atlanta, which yes is a strip club, but they do not, if you're hungry right now like I am, do not Google them, because it is the worst food porn you will ever run
Everything
into.
you said may be true. But again, I ask, like, strictly from a stripper's point of view, why would I want to go somewhere and strip where at any given time I could have barbecue sauce fingerprints on me?
Real quick, why would anybody want to go to a place? Like, why would anybody want to go be a stripper at a place where they're not there to see your body? They're there to get the food. So it'd be like, they'll be like shaking, doing this, and they'd be like, I just want to get some wings.
Excuse me, miss, can I get some wet naps over here?
Hey, hey, listen, I will do anything with you right now. Yeah, I only have so many celery sticks and just one more blue cheese. Good.
Hey, look, I want to stick this in your thong. I really, really do. But this is just enough for 12 more wings. So move out of the way. Vince McMahon looks enamored with Hulk Hogan right now. Oh, God, look at him. He's so vascular. Oh, yeah, rip it off, pal.
Here's the thing. I don't know if he is. This man's eye fucking the hell out of Hulk Hogan right now. But I don't know if Hogan. I'm sorry, if McMahon. This is not a joke, but I don't know if McMahon fully gets the credit he deserves as an announcer, and more importantly, as an interviewer. Vince was a hell of a stick man.
Absolutely. The advantage Vince had, though, is that since he owned the company, he knew with every angle how it wanted to go in every direction and wanted to go to. So he knew maybe what questions to lead into, what questions to lead out of, to steer the audience right in that direction. Not just the direction of the audience, but the direction of the next angle, the next month, the next week, the next year, whatever the case was. He just, since in the back of that crazy ass brain of his, he knows where he's going when he's driving the bus. He knows what to do.
Bruce was just talking about today, or yesterday, was the fans can't. They don't have the patience for long arcing storylines.
I agree.
I don't. Now, granted, we're of a different generation. Like, we're almost out of the demo they seek.
Right.
But to me, the two best storylines of my lifetime, and to me it's not even close, Savage Hogan.
No.
Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
No.
Both of those were well over a year.
Terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying we're all American boys. They
weren't there yet.
From Montreal to Memphis, Parlez-vous français?
There's still baby faces here.
Real quick, I'm sorry. I did not mean to disagree with your comment, TJ. I thought you were saying promo people. And one other thing to go off of Phil's comment, because I had to go back and watch it. Dino Bravo, not that recliner. That was terrible.
Yikes.
What a customer.
I love that Greg Valentine is peeking over Beefcake's shoulder.
He's looking for coke.
He's like, he already knew. He was like, in the back of his mind, he's like, some bitch.
I'm on this team too.
I'm gonna have to do black hair and rhythm and blues in about fucking 3
people
years.
forget that Greg Valentine and Beefcake were actually a team here called the Dream Team.
You do realize this is the show where he turns face.
He does. That's right. Because he comes back out later for the hair match. So So you guys shit on me a minute ago for Savage and Hogan and Michaels and Brett, and I want to know why. I'm curious.
Real quick. I know I did not mean to. Phil, I want to hit on your point real quick, and it just because sometimes we lose.
Who is listening to the show?
That would be Captain Chocolate Cake.
Chocolate Cake, mute your goddamn TV.
So Nick Mills goes, oh, Henry's in.
Henry's in.
Henry
Everingham.
From
Where's old Harry Potter?
Yeah, luckily for you, because of Coach, we started like 48 minutes late, so you're right on time.
I'm worth your weight in gold, baby.
I wish you would mute your TV. That'd be worth my weight in
That would be awesome.
You know what? You could have told me that, you cocksuckers.
That's all I can hear.
Jesus Christ. You you guys are assholes. I'll tell you that. Poor guy can't even hear. There you go. You happy?
Turn your closed captioning on. It's way better. That's going to get edited.
What happened?
Lord.
Real quick. Nick made this point, and I trust.
Oh shit! I'm not with my friends.
And believe everybody what they have to say in their opinion, or I'm open to it. But Nick goes, he's like, "Hey, Vince McMahon did a really good job on the call for WrestleMania 10 of Owen and Brett," and I'm like, "Did he?" I didn't say it on there, but in my head, I'm like, "Did he really?" And I went back and watched it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, he actually did do a good job."
Yeah, he crushed WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, he was fantastic. In that, can you repeat the question on the? I heard story arc.
Okay, so Bruce made the
Right.
argument on Friday because the main event of Unforgiven 05 we just went over was Cena and Angle. So he was making the argument that the fans, even then, couldn't necessarily stomach a long arcing year-plus storyline. And I said to me, now again, all of us here, we're on the edge of the demo they want. So we're about to get kicked out. But to me, the two best storylines of my life have been Savage and Hogan and Michaels and Hart, and it's not even close.
Savage and Hogan is undoubtedly.
And that was a year, WrestleMania 4 to 5.
That's one.
And then Hart and Michaels was what, 4? 2, 3, 4 years? So I
have a tough time arguing with that one.
I think there is an argument to be made that, I mean, yeah, the long arcing storylines have been quasi phased out. But to me, isn't your job to make the storylines interesting enough that you keep me hooked for a year?
Absolutely.
Isn't that the fucking gig? Or am I missing
You're
something?
so smart.
You know, I think
Right.
that
Go ahead, Phil.
My wife just got here.
AEW, I think, is trying to do it more so than WWE, but there are subtle long-term arcs. There's one going on right now in AEW. And
Oh boy.
I parallel this to Jeff Hardy back when he finally hit his main event status, and it's Darby Allin.
I like it.
Right now, Darby
What do you want
Allin,
to do today?
his big thing is chasing that big title. And when you think he's right there, right ready to break through, something happens. One of those little roadblocks, which right now is Taz and company. Before that, it was Cody. Before that, I mean, there's always just one little roadblock, one little thing keeping him from hitting that. And every single time he comes out, Darby Allin usually gets the loudest pop in the night, except for maybe Jericho or possibly Moxley, because fans are into him and they want him to succeed. And so if you notice, it's such a slow build. But when he finally gets that moment and finally gets that title, it's going to be huge, and it's intentional. They're intentionally just making it seem like he's always going to be that far away from it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the Kane Undertaker storyline from
Yep.
97, 98.
Perfect one.
McMahon
I would
Austin
say
is the
Cena and
obvious.
Orton to a degree. What'd you say, Matt?
I said McMahon Austin is the
Great one.
obvious
Yeah.
one too. It's
Absolutely.
So Henry,
What about Undertaker Shawn?
Good. I mean, God, that's a decade probably.
Or Triple H, Mankind, Triple H Mick.
Oh,
That started in
yeah,
Carried that
97.
through from King of the Ring 97 clear through to the retirement in 2000.
Yeah.
Triple H.
I want to hear Henry's take on this.
Well, Henry, to get you in here, we're at 58. We're headed towards 59 minutes. We're at 58:55 right now. So 58, 59 minutes. You're muted.
Yeah. Unmute yourself.
He's sitting in front of a lovely map of the United States of America. So what's your
I'm
take
back
on long arcing storylines there, Henry?
Well, first, before I answer your question, what's in the ring right now?
What is in the ring? that would be the Rougeau. I don't even know who the Rougeau brothers' partner was, to be honest with you. And then it was Rougeau's in the Dream Team. So Valentine and Beefcake with Dino Bravo and I think Jimmy Hart again. Oh, here we go. I do Adonis, Roddy Piper.
Got this trivia question right. Hey, mine slowed down a little bit. I don't know if I had a little internet glitch. I'm at 59, 51, 52, 53. Okay.
We're dead nuts,
right there. Yep.
Are we in the pit yet?
Yep.
Okay.
No, Flower Shop.
Oh, yeah, the Flower Shop. Fucking Roddy Piper.
Oh,
Speaking of trivia, I was so fucking angry at myself. It was a Freudian slip when Tony asked who first managed the oddities, and I'm in my head saying Jekyll or Jackal, whatever, and I'm like, Sonny.
Isn't it Sable?
No.
Luda
No,
Vachon.
no, it was Jekyll.
Yeah, everything that you're all saying is what was being said. And
the Jackal?
I couldn't.
It was Jackal. I couldn't get in. It was Jackal.
I knew it, and it literally. I thought Sable, but then for some reason I was thinking of the Sonny Sable episode, podcast. I think it was JR did it most recently, and I just blurted out Sonny for some reason. And then isn't that weird? If Frank, you had the same experience. Like you knew the answer, you would know the answer, and then you're like
powerlifting.
So a funny story about this
I screwed
match.
up a couple. I should have been winner hands down.
Who did win? No. By the way,
we went into a play. Like me and this other guy were tied. And the question was, who did Bret Hart lose to in your house won, which was kind of a trick question because he fought two guys. In my head, I was like, oh, he lost to Hakushi, when in fact he beat Hakushi and lost to Lawler. So I was second place, but I got the prize was an encyclopedia.
Who's the winner?
Schiavone was signing it. What was his name, Karl? I don't remember.
I don't remember his name. All I know is that. I mean, yes, the winner already had the WWFE encyclopedia.
I have.
So Schiavone was like, "Oh, Frank," or even that guy was like, "Oh, do you want it?" And he's getting it signed on Schiavone's one little page that he has in there.
Yeah.
On that page. Yeah. On this page, I see clearly. So.
Wasn't it Michael True or something?
So that's awesome. They getting that, and then I tied for fourth, and Santos, I think, did you tie for fourth as well?
I think so. Me and Rajiv were like catching up quick.
You guys are just lucky I would never whip your asses.
I finished dead last.
So much fun,
Matt. What? So you wanted to chime in here on the long storylines. What do you got for us?
Well, I was going to say that I agree with where you were coming from with regards to it is their responsibility to make storylines that we actually care about. We were able to list, a half a dozen right off the bat that still resonate with us today. Phil's provided examples from AEW that we probably all care about. The breakup of the Elite is another example of that.
Yeah,
it's really, really a slow burn. And the payoff is great then at that point. One of the things that I've seen a lot with the way that WWE does its storytelling, I don't know which came first, chicken egg, whether or not this is an internal thing of we're dealing with an ADHD generation and we need to get to these, car crash matches fast. But it gets brought up a ton from all of the hosts on ad-free shows that gimmick matches are better served as blow-offs.
Yep.
But yet 8 of our pay-per-views, 8 of the 12 schedule effectively gimmick pay-per-views where everything's built towards a specific match. So we're on a 30-day cycle now building towards the match as opposed to telling elongated storytelling where that match is now going to be the blow-off. We don't have that rationale to get to the Foley Street fight at WrestleMania or Royal Rumble 2000 and then the Hell in a Cell afterwards for the retirement match. We don't have any of that, build up or elongated storytelling to get there so that those matches mean something. Instead, we've got Hell in a Cell, and then next month we've got TLC, and then next month we've got Money in the Bank, and then next month Royal Rumble. It's just this constant 30-day cycle. So I agree wholeheartedly that it's their responsibility to make us care, and they're capable of doing it is the other part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they are, and they have the people to do it.
Exactly.
When you can't tell me, you can't find someone for Randy Orton to tell a good 7th, 8th month story with. I find that hard to believe.
Why do we care so much about Cesaro, or why do we care so much about Nakamura? Why do we care so much about a good portion of the talent that they have on the mid card that were over huge in NXT and coming to get these explosive pops from the audience? And granted, bringing them up in a rare Raw crowd where it's the Raw after WrestleMania, but that's still a Raw crowd. That's still a SmackDown crowd that's giving them that pop, that's giving them that reaction. It's not like it's just a subsegment of fans that they get to ignore because, that's an NXT dominant Raw crowd. They've got plenty of guys on roster. They've got tons of talent that people care about, that people want to see succeed. In many cases, we talked a little bit about, before we got on stream today, about Miro, about Rusev. How over was he with Rusev Day just organically? And then all of a sudden we put the kibosh on it.
I knew when Rusev lost to Cena at WrestleMania, he was dead.
Yeah.
He should have won that match.
Real quick, just to cut in, you guys did hear the story about how Rusev actually had sex on that tank for WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, I heard.
I'm listening.
That was great. No,
I was in it.
I was in it. Coach, not even on screen, still chiming in. Anyway, what's the story now?
I don't know the whole story. I just know that Lana and Miro were on a live stream one day, and they were talking about how they actually had sex in that tank.
Good for them.
I think that was a shirt that was sold at that specific WrestleMania. It wasn't I was there, I was in it. Just like
with Shotzi Blackheart in it.
Well, was I in Shotzi Blackheart?
Oh, good for him.
Heyo.
For him.
I helped Coach get those yam bags drained, and he's still talking about things.
Here we go. Hashtag yam bags.
Yes, sir.
I hope
Karl did a great job of setting up a video for me, and Frank got us a great dinner. I mean, these guys are really stepping up big time to help me. I appreciate them both.
I gave you moral support.
Oral? I don't need oral support.
Moral.
Moral. No, okay.
I'm lost.
Thanks.
Anyway, I hope people are kind of paying attention to this match a little bit, because Adrian Adonis is a fat lump of shit in this match. But what people forget, and unfortunately he was dead, I think, a year after this, or a year or two. But people forget that before his weight kind of got out of control, Adrian Adonis is one of the best workers there were, and he is bumping his ass off in this match for his size. He's taking some crazy bumps.
Like he fell on Jimmy Hart.
Piper threw Jimmy Hart at him, and he went over the top rope with Jimmy Hart.
That spot was great.
That's tremendous.
Piper, for a guy that gets labeled as just a brawler, he sells his ass off.
He does. Phenomenal seller. Actually, I was watching this
I think
to prepare for
Adonis
this.
is doing a good job there too.
Yeah, and even Jimmy Hart's on his game. But to prepare for this show and getting ready for Bobby the Brain Heenan, I watched 2 episodes of Primetime Wrestling. So it was the 2 episodes before this WrestleMania, and they were really plugging the Piper Adonis story. I forgot got so much attention. I thought it was kind of more thrown together, but it really wasn't. They spent a lot of time building the story with the flower pit or the flower shop was a direct ripoff in story of the Piper's Pit. It was on purpose. And Piper came and, destroyed it with the bat. And I mean, there was a lot of story built in. And my wife first asked when she saw Adrian Adonis, because it was Adrian Adonis, Dory Funk, and Jimmy Hart were doing an interview because Dory Funk was in the Hart family at the time. And she asked me who Adrian Street was, or I'm sorry, Adrian Street, because he asked me who Adrian Adonis was because he had a huge shiner in the interview too. And I said, kind of explained to her, gave her the rundown. Like in the '80s, he was a tag team with Jesse Ventura. Now, mind you, my wife doesn't watch wrestling whatsoever. She tolerates it because of me. But great tag team in the early '80s with Jesse Ventura's the East-West connection. Then he was with the North-South with somebody else. I don't remember who. But in the AWA, he was legit. And then I think he went to Jim Crockett for a cup of coffee. And then he came here. And like I said, unfortunately, I think a year and a half or 2 years after this, he was gone. But kind of explained him, and I said, "What Adrian? I didn't know this at the time as a kid, but looking back, I now know he was almost a direct ripoff of Adrian Street. And that's why Freudian slipped his name earlier. I mean, if you look at Adrian Street and then look at Adrian Adonis, he is a direct ripoff. So that's kind of where Adrian Adonis came from. He's a ripoff of Adrian Street. And now we got fucking Beefcake turning face, getting ready to cut his hair.
Has anybody seen the?
You totally just blew my mind.
Has anybody seen the Street documentary?
After I talked to my wife about it last time, I was like, I have to watch that now. He has such a fascinating story.
It's really good. And going back to Cornette again, he talks about Street being just. I mean, in order to pull that gimmick off back in the time frame that he's
bad son of a bitch
doing it, yeah, it's like the guy apparently was just this tough as nails, shoot brawler that when necessary. It's a phenomenal story.
Henry, are you up on your Adrian Street?
I can't say I know that name very well. No.
So in the 1980s, he was a British wrestler that came. I think he came to Oregon first, which is where Piper was. And I'm pretty sure he landed in Jim Crockett Promotions for a little while anyway. But he kind of faded obscurity rather quick. But Adrian Street was this, legit, badass, hard-nosed British wrestler that dressed like Adrian Adonis here did. So for lack of a better phrase, he was cross-dressing.
But factor of 10 compared to what Adonis was doing.
But the dude was legit. So, the gimmick sold like $1 million. And on top of that, again, it's the 80s, so this gimmick's not cool as opposed to now how it would go over. In the 80s, this shit ain't cool. And he was managed by Jim Cornette. So, there's an Adrian Street documentary on WWE Network that I need to watch. But I did know of Adrian Street before, but Adrian Street was, from all accounts, because I first heard Regal talk about him. And Regal got a lot of his stuff, especially his heel stuff, from Adrian Street. And the dude was just bona fide legit. Bad son of a bitch.
You hit on something there. And it was a conversation I had with my stepdad. He was doing his residency at the time at Rush Hospital in Chicago during '87, and we talk about the pandemic and how scary that can be. They didn't know what they didn't know about AIDS at that time, and we have to keep in context and keep in mind the connotation, the stigma that was attached to a character that when kayfabe was still very much alive, even though this guy is married to a woman in real life.
Yep.
Oh,
there's a fan.
I didn't see. Wait, I just saw him blow the hair. Am I way behind? Oh no, that's odd. Okay. But no, you make a great point about that.
I think that's the only fan in the history of wrestling to get the shit kicked out
Yeah,
of
get
him.
the absolute
Right.
shit beat out of him. Oh, actually, no, he is right now in the
there
ring.
you go. Oh,
Damn
Wait,
it.
Yeah, we're just not getting to see it.
So wait, I'm at 112.47, 48. Am I a little behind?
I'm at 114.12.
Oh my lord.
I'm
What
actually
happened,
ahead
Karl?
now.
Let me know when you get to around 114.30.
Perfect.
This is shortly before Roddy leaves to go do They Live, right?
Yes.
I'm at 32,
Such a great movie.
33, 34.
I'm at
It is
31,
definitely an
32,
underrated
so.
film.
absolutely.
So you're just a
Crazy
hair in
part
front of
is-
us, Karl.
He looks great here, but in They Live, he's huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
When he comes back for WrestleMania 4, I think it was a Martin Downey Jr. bit. He was big then.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
the best
yeah.
part of that WrestleMania.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
he's blowing the smoke into, yeah.
Speaking of big, did anybody see how freaking huge? And this is jumping to modern wrestling, but what Mike Bennett looked like for his
Yes.
match against Nick Aldis?
Oh
He's
my
jacked.
God.
Mac
Holy
Bennett's jacked.
shit!
I wish they would have pushed Michael Bennett better in WWE.
And that's a whole nother topic. I mean, I was gonna say for another day, but I mean, for fuck's sake, we got 2.5 hours to go, or hour and a half. I don't know. I get so confused sometimes.
Ah, Bret Hart's in the ring.
But it's the Hart Foundation, and I believe this is and Danny Davis. I think it's
So I'm watching Jesse get in the ring right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
When you say wish they would have used him better, they had the ability to almost go Fandango or the way Sami Zayn's music is sometimes was cheered in NXT.
Yeah.
That theme was this
Awesome.
is the greatest. Could you imagine the WrestleMania moment that they would have had like love of it? You could have love like people holding up signs. I thought that it sounded so different. I thought that music made that team just even elevate them that much higher. And they were awesome before. Remember how good the Kingdom was with Kanellis and Bennett and who's the other guy? I can't remember.
Taven?
Yes, Matt. Yes.
I want to know, like it. I don't understand because WWE has the ability to make anybody they want to a star.
Yeah.
Now they might give us the bullshit. Well, they have to be able to use charisma. Horse's ass. Anyone you want to be a star will be, as long as you put the effort into it.
Well, and they clearly love Maria.
Cesaro.
They pushed her to the moon
Yeah.
before.
There's a few of them that were.
Yeah, Cesaro's a great example. Shinsuke's a great example. Fucking
And
Kevin
Jericho.
Owens. Why
Mhm.
Kevin Owens isn't the top guy in the company, I will never understand as long as I live. Sami Zayn is probably the most underrated heel by a long shot.
Absolutely.
And I don't give a flying rat's ass what anybody says. The best heel champion they've had in the last 2 decades is The Miz.
Yep.
Hard to argue.
The Miz's title run is underrated. It was so good.
He had
was
real
such
heat.
a good heel champion.
He had actual real heat.
Exactly. I
Bishop was-
remember one of the best, one of the title matches I remember the best out of the last 15 years was him and Jerry Lawler in the ladder match.
Yeah, that was a good match.
That was
Mm.
Well, and you touched on something too. You look at Kevin Owens. Owens is another guy that actually got real heat.
Mhm.
He has that whole gimmick with Jericho. Then they have the blow up. You know, everyone loves Jericho. They're the funny ha-ha heels. And then it's, oh, now we okay.
And I was gonna say pre-Stunner, even pre-Stunner. everybody had said, is booking fantasy dream matches for WrestleMania. I always wanted to see Punk and Rollins. A lot of people had this dream match of Punk and Austin, but I think Owens Austin, and this goes back probably 4 or 5 years. I've had this. I'm like, if I could see those two go at it, that would be up there in like fantasy booking of all time.
Who is more of the everyman than Kevin Owens?
Right.
And
Hey, guys, real quick.
Frank, you're
Real
up.
quick,
And then
I'm
we'll
sorry.
go Phil.
Did you realize that Ariba McIntyre's brother's in the ring right now?
It's Reba.
No? Okay. We're talking about Bobby today. That was his joke from WrestleMania 8, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh.
Hey, look! It's Tito's sister, Ariba McIntyre!
It's Reba. I was more concerned about A, carrying the dog like that, B, the fact that Gino Hernandez is wearing striped Beetlejuice pants.
And C, how the hell did Jimmy Hart change his clothes so fast?
That
I
is
know.
not Gino Hernandez.
Oh, it's not.
That's Dangerous Danny Davis. You knew that. The original 3D.
I've never heard
think
me referred to as that before.
Well, Danny Davis was a referee forever.
Yeah.
He became a referee again after this, but
No, what I was just going to say earlier was how great of a human being is Kevin Owens?
phenomenal. Sami Zayn too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zayn's interview with Jericho when he was on the shelf with like the double labrum tear about the world and to each their own and what we all think is going on. And I know everybody says, "Oh, he's so smart, he's so intellectual." No, he's transparent and vulnerable and allows himself to think. I don't know, just not outside the box is doing him a disservice. He is a very unique cat. I'll say that much. Yeah. I love Sami Zayn but as a heel,
Hello?
forget about it.
Hi, Coach.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Zayn is probably the best heel promo in the entire company, maybe over all companies right now. At least the ones that I'm watching.
You would put him over MJF.
I can't put him over.
Well,
MJF.
no, I would
Yeah.
not
He's
put him
number
over
two,
MJF.
Good call.
That's fair.
He's number 2.
How
I
great was-
hope people appreciate the fact we have 5 Hall of Famers in the ring right now.
That is nuts.
And then Jimmy Hart on the outside.
How fast did he change his outfit, by the way? He was out 30 seconds later in a different outfit.
Different jacket.
I could just change the tie.
Different
and
pants too.
Is it different? Oh, it
He
is.
went from all black to all white.
I wonder if he
that.
had tearaways.
Hey, baby, rip these off real quick. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Oh,
Well, here's another thing too is we always praise Bobby Heenan for I think he was on this card 4 times.
Yep.
And this was his $100,000 payoff. I think Jimmy Hart was also at her 4 times.
You know what I think the tough thing about Heenan about when you brought this topic
By
up?
the way, we haven't talked about Heenan at all. But
Right, and I didn't mean to steer it into that direction. Is one of the hardest things that I think we often are, and I would say this is more United States based. We like to make our Mount Rushmores, our list, and then section off into commentators, into wrestlers, into managers, personalities. Heenan, when they talk about it, I think he gets his own wing of the Hall of Fame, right? Because he's all encompassing, right?
When it's all together, he's definitely there's an argument to be made that Heenan is the number 1 overall talent in the history of wrestling.
when Nick Bockwinkel, who's one of the greatest ever in the ring, to say
I think Bockwinkel is the greatest talker in history.
Oh, absolutely. But when Bockwinkel, when he was the AWA champion, he's one of the best ever in the ring.
Yes.
By far. And to have him say, Heenan could do what I do, I could not do what Heenan did. That's all I need.
Yep.
Says a lot.
Heenan, and people forget Heenan wrestled before he became a manager.
How long did he wrestle?
You know,
Well,
they
he
really didn't
wrestled
dive
on
in-
and off from, I think he debuted in 64. And he wrestled on and off until Warrior injured him in 88, I think it was.
on the recent Grilling JR. They didn't dive too deep into it, but between that and the Cornette one, it's so blanking good. Just so I don't know why I've censored myself.
Bobby Heenan, it's so weird. He's off. I mean, just short list. To me, it's 3 guys up for greatest manager of all time. No offense
Well,
to
see,
Jimmy Hart.
but is he a better broadcaster? Like on primetime or even, you know what? YouTube, some of the outtakes of at Caesar's Palace of Gorilla and him setting up.
Those are great.
Well,
Those
let's go into the commentary thing. So I'll sum up with one question. Lawler and JR, Gorilla and Heenan. I'm going Gorilla and Heenan.
Really heated.
I'm going to say Gorilla and Heenan because that's what I was indoctrinated into as a fan.
Yep.
And it's what I always relate things to.
And maybe I'm wrong on this, but due to, you know,
he said doo-doo.
Did I say dude?
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, you went to say do too. But you said
yes, do too. Yes, that's what I was going for. It feels as if, and maybe I'm looking at this through the wrong lenses backwards, but when I see JR and King, I see start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. JR obviously going through Bell's palsy and his medical issues. King with his stuff, Miss Kitty. It feels start, stop as where Gorilla and Bobby, and I know that Jesse was in there and Tony for a brief period, but I don't know why it just feels like this longevity of them together. Almost slipped out of my chair. It just feels like their lineage goes on consistently for some reason in my mind. I don't know.
Well, it's because they also did Primetime Wrestling.
And All Stars.
And that's right, and Wrestling All Stars.
So did they do TNT? No, that was Vince and Lord Alfred.
Yeah. So when you have 2 syndicated shows and then you have the pay-per-views, I mean that's in this time in 80s. When did Bobby Heenan? So Bobby Heenan started doing Primetime Wrestling in '86, and Primetime Wrestling in All Stars. So in '86. So and he went full-time commentary with the Gorilla, I think, in '89. So when you have, I mean, your 2 major syndicated shows, and then every pay-per-view is Gorilla and Bobby Heenan. I mean, that was a big deal back then. And they were, again, anyone who wants a master class on what a babyface play-by-play announcer and what a heel color commentator is supposed to sound like, listen to Royal Rumble 1992.
That's the one.
That is gold standard.
They were, I mean, that's probably the best called pay-per-view ever.
Whew, that tombstone was a little snug.
Yeah.
He laid on his ass and not his knees.
Austin be paralyzed right now.
Now that one tombstone at WrestleMania 26, Undertaker did after Shawn Michaels slapped him. Oh, God.
Yeah, dude. When he jumped.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, he's not getting up from that one.
No.
Are we talking about the move that retired my favorite wrestler? Can we stop that now?
Shawn Michaels?
Yes, that was, you said 26.
We're not talking about that move. We're not talking about that move. We're talking about the exact moment, Frank, that he was retired.
Oh.
And by the way, good riddance to you, Sean. Get out of here.
Oh, my God. Carl, back me up, brother. Carl, help me out here, man.
We had a pretty big blowout over Shawn Michaels in the last episode. I fucking hate him. I think he's overrated. I think he's overrated.
So is that because you're a Hart guy, or is that because you're a...
No, I'm not a Hart guy.
Overrated?
I think he was, and again, at the time, I was, 10, 12 years old.
Sure.
I didn't know any better. But I knew he was an asshole just from watching TV. And even now, as an adult, knowing what I know, fuck him. The WWF would have done just fine without Shawn Michaels from 94 to 97.
Well, they,
No.
they couldn't have done worse.
Fact.
No.
Fact.
You need no. You need Shawn Michaels for DX. You need Shawn Michaels to create issues that he did.
You don't
Did
really.
he need to go away? Karl, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I got this.
We're
I got
shitting
this.
on your boy, and you muted.
Karl,
Are you just mastering the technology?
No, I'm too far away from the because I'm watching it on my Mac. Damn it! It froze again.
Now I will give you O2
3D. OG 3D with the win.
O2 Shawn Michaels on. I'm in. I'm all in.
You almost need him. Okay. All right. Here's where I'm gonna take that Brett and Sean storyline. He has to lose his smile in order.
Stop it already.
For Brett and
God.
Sean to work, because it gave it, and you need that to grow. The hair getting pulled out backstage, the sunny days comment, all of that. You need. He was perfect for it. That was. I can't.
But
Oh
if
my God.
Shawn Michaels isn't a prick, none of that needs to exist. None of it needed to happen. Are we still going to sit here?
Can we
Boy,
talk?
the WWF wouldn't have made it past 1997 had it not been for the Sunny Days promo. Said no one
Bobby
ever.
Heenan in that tux jacket, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, look at Heenan right now.
Let's track it.
Like this is like him next to Andre in that suit. I mean, he's friggin' amazing right here.
Andre looks like he's eye fucking me right now.
Andre's eye fucking the world right now.
Wasn't he when he was starting to get in pain right here?
Oh yeah.
Do you want me to turn my sound on? Hold on. Can you hear this?
Yeah, really well.
Can you hear it when I do it?
Frank's got the clearest.
All right.
Vegas and all over the whole wrestling world, they're picking Andre the Giant. Nobody can defeat this man. Nobody even can come close to defeating this man. And Hogan, I know what's happening to you now because it's happening to me. The butterflies are in my stomachs. The adrenaline's flowing through my veins, and I'm getting ready because I'm going to manage the heavyweight champion of the world. And Hogan, hey, you had 3 good years. You got nothing to look back on. But it's all over. Andre the Giant, the new heavyweight champion of the world. The biggest heavyweight title bout of all time, Andre the Giant to beat Hulk Hogan.
Man.
I want that jacket.
I mean,
fuck, man.
Heenan right there, man.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Getting masterclass. That's how you cut a promo.
Baby, Slickster.
Yeah, I want that.
Oh, there's
I want that
Slick. The
white
reason why
jacket.
I didn't win that damn trivia.
Slick?
Another reason why. Yeah, they said who was in the corner of the Big Boss Man at WrestleMania 5, and I'm like, his partner Akeem. No, but they were managed by Slick.
Oh my dear God!
The creator of Netflix, huge in Florida, the natural Butch Reed.
I am in awe right now, guys. I don't. Words can't describe it.
Oh my God! And here comes Coco.
Butch Reed is a very interesting subject
Come
in
on,
wrestling.
everybody, get up on your feet, get your hands together, and do the bird with me. Sorry.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
That was.
I knew
Although
none of
he's
the
probably-
words to that song.
He's probably coming out the pile driver here, though.
I love.
Actually, I don't
I've
think
got
so.
that. I've got Pile Driver and the wrestling album on vinyl. Still in. Pile Driver is in the plastic. Stuck in Kansas. Matt, don't steal my shit, please.
Where did he go?
He said he'll be right
He
back.
said
All I see is his
he said
window
BRB
blinds.
on the chat.
Yeah.
Maybe he has to pee. He didn't want to take us with
well,
him.
he took. So, we're not good. We're not as good as the chat pack. He can't take us to go pee pee. What an asshole!
I think he had a little bit more liquid courage in him on that night. We were getting after
That was
it.
great. I'm sorry.
That was a great
That
show.
was so fun.
Our ratings, literally, when I looked at the Facebook numbers, at that moment, it was like, "Ew."
By
And
the way, I still have a bit of contention with you, Karl,
Uh-oh.
because you booked, I think with the exception of Henry, you booked you and Lauren with one other person, correct? But for some reason, and you've had Rocco, the model DeRose, on there.
Oh yeah, you and Coach were on at the same time.
And then you had me and Coach, the two grizzled old men, on the show at the same time.
Oh,
that I'm sure
why did
nobody
we do
watched.
that?
Because they're like, I don't look at these two ugly assholes. Look at these guys.
I didn't even think that it was you and Coach and not Lauren.
No, it's me and Coach.
Fuck me. I don't even know if Lauren's aware of that. I'm not saying that like dismissively. I just thought three people were there, and you're right. I'm an idiot. I again have
you
the
booked the two grizzled old men on the show at the same time.
Okay, we're gonna.
And then you hook up Lauren and Rocco, the model DeRose.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't get Lauren either.
Yeah.
Well, my problem is my problem is not that I didn't get Lauren.
You got.
I got Coach.
I'm texting with her. I'm actually texting with her right now because we're trying to figure out the lineup. Hold on.
I mean, if you got him to come back with you, TJ, he'd probably disappear after about 15, 20 minutes. Then it would just be you.
Well, here's what's fun about Coach is he's been gone for this long. He really hasn't been in this show since the beginning. So
no.
Because I'm gonna have to remove a lot.
I asked him.
I'm gonna have to remove a lot of what he said anyway from the show.
I asked him where he went. He said there was a power outage. Someone hit a transformer or a pole or something.
I hope he's okay, but yeah, he is. There's some editing I'm gonna have to do after this show's over to.
You know, if we could go back to something for a second, I did have a random thought. If Shawn Michaels disappears from 94 to 97, do we still have that seamless transition into the Attitude Era?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
no,
interesting.
we do not, Henry. We do not.
I think we do.
We do not. No. Come on. Who is the main protagonist for the Hart
All right,
Foundation?
so let's have
Austin
this discussion.
And HBK.
Let's have this discussion. When did the Attitude Era start? What one event do you think started the Attitude Era? I guarantee you I'm going to disagree with everybody.
When Shawn stuffed his bicycle pants.
No.
Because that's when Vince said, that's attitude. That's what we need. When he was jumping up in JR's face, crotch chopping.
So that's when they made it official.
Boat.
But to me, they were tipping their toe in the water before that. And again, I'm going to disagree with everybody, so I'm already ready. Matt, your thoughts. When do you see the Attitude Era starting?
Dude, okay. Where it started or where it
took off?
Where it took off, I think, is Tyson and Austin.
Okay. Phil?
I'm going to have to agree with Matt on that one. Tyson Austin.
All right, Antonio?
Either Tyson Austin or when Austin first stunned Mr. McMahon for the first time.
Okay. Henry?
I would have to say either when Austin stunned McMahon or the Montreal Screwjob, because without the Screwjob, you don't get the heel McMahon. Without the heel McMahon, you don't get Tyson Austin. Without Tyson Austin, the Attitude Era, as we know it, I think either gets watered down or doesn't exist in its same form at all.
Okay, Coach? Thank you, Coach. So here's my take. Everyone prepare to have your mind blown. To me, WWE started dabbling in the Attitude Era when Goldust debuted in 95.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. No, I can't disagree with you.
That's a very.
They weren't going there.
But that was definitely them sticking their toe in the pool, taking the temperature. What can we get away with now? And then you can even include Nation of Domination in 96. And then
what about the Brian Pillman Austin gun
sure.
thing?
Yep. Oh, for sure. Pillman Pillman's gun was huge.
Yeah.
Well, the Bret Hart Stone Cold.
Yeah, the double turn.
When we start getting a lot of color too, and we actually start, it's a little, that felt a little, because so much of the Attitude Era
other than the shock aspect of it, the Jerry Springer aspect of it, there's also a lot of Mid-South blood and guts overtones to it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phil, I totally cut you off there, man.
Oh no, I was just wanting to know how TJ knew Brian Pillman's gun was so huge.
Why?
You said Brian Pillman's gun was huge. How do you know this?
Have you not been online? Do you not have Google in your area?
I don't do that kind of stuff in my free time.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, there was a.
He had a real Magnum.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
That's not where I saw this going.
I immediately thought of his gimmick. Slickster's trying to get into the cart. Why is mine all choppy?
Is that Tito Santana?
I'm at 139, 16, 17, 18.
Yep, we're on the money.
Yep.
I have 5G internet, and I have no idea why it's being.
That's natural.
Well, we pay more for worse internet than anywhere in the civilized world.
You do pay it. That was the one thing about Wichita. Holy shit, was internet expensive?
I know. I when I bought this house 2 years ago, before this house, I rented a house, and I use that word loosely because it was my wife's grandmother's house. But we had country internet, and it was the shits, and it was expensive. But we moved. I don't know. That house is maybe 20 minutes away from where I live now, and I get Comcast, and I've never had an issue.
Spectrum is crap.
If what?
Spectrum is crap.
That's what I
crap.
have is Spectrum.
I think I had Spectrum when I was stationed in Virginia.
I've got Dewey Cox.
Dewey Cox. No,
Cox
you
internet.
know what? I had Cox. I had Cox internet when I lived in Virginia.
I'd rather
I
have
have
a
Cox as
dial
well.
up with a 14.4 modem than deal with Spectrum.
I'd rather have DSL 56K, bitches.
I tell you what, I've got Charter's fastest package, and I also have a Wi-Fi mesh setup in my home, a Google Mesh system,
Oh yeah.
with three mesh points along with the router, and I still have connection issues.
I didn't understand half the words you just said.
I know
All
what
I
the
got
mesh.
was connection problems and charter.
No, I know what
That
the
was the only
mesh.
thing I reasonably understood.
I want to get one of those mesh deals because I have a couple spots in my place. I do Ethernet for my chat pack because it's like blazing fast and it has not failed me yet. But no, I wanted to get one of those Google Mesh deals. How much were they? Like for one of them?
See, I bought the starter pack, the 2-pack, and it was like $280.
Uh-oh.
One router and one mesh point.
Here we go.
No, I'm
Frank,
sorry.
we're getting ready to track it here pretty soon. We'll watch them go.
We are
Ricky
getting
Steamboat
ready
comes
to
back on.
track it.
Question: Had
You want me to
Steamboat-
track it?
Not yet. When Ricky Steamboat does his promo.
When had Steamboat already had his melon crushed open by Jake Roberts at this point?
Yes, that was his debut. I'm fairly certain
Oh.
that was his debut.
This is all the throat angle stuff, right?
Yeah, the
Right.
ring bell.
I like throat angle. I don't know why I like that.
Kurt,
You got Kurt and you got Timmy and you got John and you got throat angle.
what? Eric, you forgot Eric Angle, the murderer.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to leave him out.
So actually, no, this isn't it.
What the fuck is this?
When did Jake DDT Ricky Steamboat at the Garden? I think
When
it was
he
his
did-
debut. in
Wasn't
86.
it? Just some trivia for you. That actually wasn't the Garden. That was Providence, Rhode Island. That happened.
Thank you, Frank.
Killian Dane. Why does Killian Dane have no hair and he's carrying Miss Elizabeth? He didn't kill her. We know Lex did that, but
What's that? People having all that hair.
He put it all on his back instead of on his head.
Apparently.
I don't know why. Why did Randy Savage stop wearing trunks? He looks fucking great there.
I love when Punk wore
Time
them.
does horrible things to us all.
Oh,
Track
it.
I bet you he.
It was a state of shock when Ricky the Dragon Steamboat came back here. But this time, in front of the largest audience in the world, I will not only embarrass you Not only pin you with the 1, 2, 3 count, but I'm going to put you out of wrestling for good. Oh, yeah, Dragon. I am the Lord and Master of the Ring, and you're going to find that out one athlete to another right now. You can't be with me. No. History beckons the Macho Man. Yeah.
So when
Add that robe to the list of things that I would buy immediately.
Oh,
oh
absolutely.
yeah, for sure. When we're done here, I want you guys to think about this. So I know we're getting ready to listen to Steamboat here in a second. But when we're done, 'cause this show is supposed to be about Bobby Heenan. I guess I'm an hour and 45 minutes into the show. It's not a bad time to start. I want to do 4 members. Your ultimate Heenan family. So the best of the Heenan family. Like when you think of the Heenan family, who are the 4? And I will let you include Nick Bockwinkel.
Yeah.
Wait, was he technically in the Heenan family?
Nick Bockwinkel?
Yeah.
AWA.
Oh, then he's in automatically. But the question is, who do you think of?
Right.
I mean, the WrestleMania arcade game or whatever it is it's him and $1 Million Man.
Beautiful looking belt.
And isn't it on the arcade version? Isn't it Bobby Heenan standing next to $1 Million Man and Andre and Virgil, like on that one screen?
Yes, but Bobby Heenan and DiBiase never actually worked together. The whole deal was supposedly, eventually, before WrestleMania 4, DiBiase buys the contract of Andre before.
Oh, here we go.
Track it. Bobby.
On special George, the Animal Steel in your corner. However, in my opinion, this could be your last shot at Randy Savage and the Intercontinental title.
My last opportunity. Randy Savage, the day has finally come. The minutes, the seconds, we have reached our moment. As you and I climb into the ring, we clash like 2 titans. But there will only be one winner. One wrestler. This dragon is on fire. This dragon will scorch your back. I will come away with the championship belt and see new horizons.
That might be the best.
That was good.
I get this is supposed to be about Bobby Heenan, and this is probably going to be incredibly controversial, but of all the matches on this card, I honestly think that this match eclipses Giant Hogan.
Oh, by far.
It does, absolutely.
Yes.
Now,
as Bruce and Eric would say, Hogan and Andre built the house. Savage and Steamboat stole it.
I would say Savage and Hogan and Andre built it, and Savage and Steamboat tore the damn thing down.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say that it's an interesting thing because we had really up to this point in the States had never seen a match quite like this. Really, if you think of it, because Flair and Steamboat were not that trilogy was not till '89, and so
TJ, that's dope.
I can't get this thing.
I stole it from Karl. That's not my idea.
Karl, excellent.
But no, like there is no Okada Omega if there is no Savage Steamboat.
That's cool.
It was the first time we're really having false finishes like this, and it's not a Broadway, but it's 14 minutes, all action.
So I think what differentiates this match for most quote-unquote classics nowadays is all the false finishes you see in this match. None of them exhaust the other one's finishing move.
Yep.
Bingo.
And I think that's kind of gotten lost over the last, especially over the last 15 years or so. I would say I was starting to give up hope. I think it was Orton and Cena had a last man standing match. It was like 11-9. And that's when I started to like, okay, this is starting to get out of control.
I tell you, the one time, the biggest time I've ever popped for someone kicking out of a finish is the first Austin Rock WrestleMania when Rock kicked out of the stunner. Did not see that coming.
I grew up learning to understand that Foley was going to kick out of the first 2 pedigrees he wasn't kicking out of the third one.
I gotta say that I think it was 2 weeks ago, the NXT Championship match between Cole and Finn, I thought did false finish really well, where he hits the coup de grace, sells the shit out of the ankle for what seems like a million minutes, then makes the cover, then Cole kicks out on 2. And, then he hits his elevated spike DDT, and that ends up being the finish. And Finn goes over, but it wasn't finish after finish after finish after finish, 2 count,
Right.
2 count, 2 count, 2 count. I thought those two I thought did a really, really good job with it.
Definitely.
That was a great match.
Well, the
Too bad
thing
that more
is,
matches can't be like that.
right.
Yep.
The thing is with the finish after finish after finish, what's the point in having a finish?
Right? Well, and isn't that also part of the issue with theory of escalation, which then certain folks get pissed about, and even certain wrestlers get pissed about that, it's just getting more and more dangerous, and the fan is at fault because of you want to see the next big thing. Well, if we've killed all the finishers and you have to make something more dangerous and more deadly
Right.
in order to finish someone off.
So that's why I would say that one of the more underrated things that doesn't get talked about enough is preconditioning and or conditioning the audience, right? So I've always thought that WWE, while they did take a lot of flack and lash from the internet wrestling community, but think about downshifting from TV 14 to PG.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's as easy as we all think. Like, we know that it's hard, but I don't know we could fully grasp how difficult it is to be showing, once again, Sable's handprints, to really dieting things down and being able to keep fans. I know there was no real competition going on. People were flipping over to TNA, but I think that's one of the hardest things to do is condition. And you're going to get this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, and we're pulling it back from you,
Well, so let's look at this. So how good was DDP? Let me rephrase that. How over was DDP from 97 until the end of WCW?
The move, the hand gesture.
Yeah. As far as I know, one guy kicked out of the Diamond Cutter in that 4-year span.
Wasn't it Goldberg?
Goldberg was, as far as I know, Goldberg was the only one. And we have it 98.
The longest pay-per-view ever.
And it so long it didn't air entirely on pay-per-view.
Still going, I think, isn't it?
Huh?
It's still going somewhere, I think, isn't it?
Somewhere it's still going on.
Are we talking about the pay-per-view or the Bruce Pritchard watch-along on Something to Wrestle?
That was Halloween. Oh, that was the same show. You're right. That was the same show. Holy shit. I forgot Hogan and Ward were on that show. So we kind of got into our 4 members of the Heenan family. Our Heenan family all-stars, so to speak. Phil Jackson, we'll start with you. Your Heenan family all-stars, your 4 members. Who you got?
I can't see anyone arguing anyone else, and I challenge you to try. So let's.
I can't see this being a big debate. No.
Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect, Nick Bockwinkel, Andre the Giant.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
There's one. I'm a little surprised he got left out, but Henry, let's go to you. So Karl's on board. Let's go to Henry.
I would probably have to go with Arn and Tully. I would keep Ric Flair and get rid of Nick Bockwinkel and honestly, it's a toss-up between either Mr. Perfect or Andre the Giant.
Okay. There's still a guy I haven't been mentioned yet, Matt.
I echo Phil's. I think it's Rick Perfect because of the 92 run, and then Bockwinkel based upon the AWA, and then Andre based upon the WWF in this
So you
era.
said Rick Rude was in there?
I did not say Rick Rude.
Okay, so
I have a hunch that
so you meant Ric Flair.
Out. Yeah, Flair.
Okay,
yeah.
so Frank.
All right, you stole my thunder there, TJ, because I'm not looking at the Heenan family as Ric Flair or Perfect, because it was that was like a little stable going on, but Heenan was the broadcaster at the time, so managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, Andre the Giant, Ravishing Rick Rude, and the Brainbusters.
Yeah, Rick Rude was the one. I was kind of surprised, kind of got left out of so many. So, only because I'm a nerd.
I'd forgotten that Rick Rude was. I'd probably put Rick Rude in that last spot instead of Perfect or Giant. Now that I really think about it.
Okay, and I'm not gonna argue that either. But only because I'm a nerd and I'm a kind of an historian in age. My 4 Heenan members for Count AWA. My tag team is going to be Bockwinkel and Stevens. Not because we have the same last name, even though it's spelled differently. Mr. Perfect is my number 3. When I think Bobby Heenan, I think Mr. Perfect. And then my number 4 is Rick Rude. And the only reason why I don't have Andre in there in my top 4 is because, unfortunately, when Andre joined, whenever I see Andre in the Heenan family, it just reminds me we're nearing the end.
He's also, he's so broken down at this point.
That's a good point.
So I don't usually put Andre in my Heenan family. Antonio, did you chime in on this?
No. The Brainbusters, Mr. Perfect, and I was gonna say Andre, but I forgot about Big John Studd too.
Big John Studd, there you go.
Wow.
That's not a bad one either.
I think of it this way. I have to put Andre on there only because, A, he didn't speak the language very well.
Well, of this night. It has to be because of this night.
Yeah.
And Heenan literally gave it such fire. I mean, aside from the crucifix, tearing Hogan's chest up and that bit, you got to remember that was in, January on Saturday night's main event?
I think so, yeah.
So we're talking 2 months. He had 2 months and to talk them into the seats. And it's just he's so identifiable. I don't know. When it comes to my mind, at least, just being that mouthpiece for Andre is more of the reason I put him in there. So criteria is a little wonky on that, but that's why I would throw him in there. But I think Stud, Henry, I think that's a very
Stud's solid.
That I did not see that one. I forgot. That's a very good one, and as is Rick Rude.
There's a crazy symmetry between Heenan being the foil and then eventually almost doing this face turn way, way, way after the fact, being validated in WCW.
Yep.
When he's on commentary when Hogan turns heel.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Remarkable.
What do you guys think about? Is he the third man?
That's what we're.
No, what do you think about it? I know it's been discussed. Where
you're saying Heenan would have been the third man?
No. Heenan saying that line.
Oh,
when
I watched that pay-per-view live, I didn't catch that. I didn't make the connection.
And even going back and watching it now, even though you know that Hogan's going to turn, Heenan's comment fits. It
fits Heenan. It fits his whole career.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get your feedback on that.
Okay.
No, he got
Can
flack
I ask a quick
unfairly
question?
over that. Yes.
Just a quick question. I know that this has been spoken about, that this is the passing of the torch for Andre to Hogan, but could we just why wouldn't they have put the damn belt on Andre on this night, even if it was just for the summer?
I got it.
Come on.
I got it. Hogan must pose, pal.
Oh God.
Well, I think to Frank's point, but damn it. I think to Frank's point is later on in the year they put the belt on Andre for what, an hour?
Yeah.
Before he sold it to DiBiase.
DiBiase.
I thought he did that in a span of like 45 seconds.
Well, I mean, I was exaggerating a hair, but I mean, it was on the Saturday Night's Main Event. He won the title with the evil Hebner twin.
Right.
I think there's something to the idea here that, again, I go back to 2, and WrestleMania 2, commercial success, critical flop. You're still trying to, level up Hulkamania that much more into that next stratosphere of whatever it's going to be. 1 establishes rock and wrestling, and we think Hulkamania can just be the biggest thing since sliced bread.
Mm-hmm.
And Andre, he is it's not just that it's a babyface territory, it's that we are using Andre to level Hulk up that much more. We've
Right.
now found the first guy that looks like he threatens Hulkamania.
Yeah.
Like truly aesthetically threatens Hulkamania.
By the way, I never
It
caught
would
this
have been so
before.
believable if he beat him.
Yeah. No, I don't think it'd have been out of the grasp of anyone's realm if Andre would have won that match. But let's look at something I never realized, really pay attention to in this match. Look who the referee is.
Yep. Earl freaking Hebner.
It's Earl Hebner.
I'm
wonder why this
curious
match
where I could get
Well,
the sweater that George Steele is wearing.
I don't think that's Earl Hebner.
You think that's the other one?
I think
It's
that's
Dave.
Dave. Yeah.
It was the plastic surgery.
Henry,
brothers.
how in the hell can you tell?
Let's
how
find
can
out.
You tell? Because I can't tell.
Who was the referee?
So let me throw this out there while you're looking that up. Let's play the Carl's favorite game, what if / domino
The
effect
domino effect. I love this game.
of this.
Dave Hebner.
If,
Dave Hebner's the answer.
Wow.
That is
Henry,
Dave Hebner.
you savant, you.
fuck,
Henry
dude,
is
that
a
is
savant.
good shit, pal.
Has everyone watched the
Holy
Macho Man
shit.
documentary?
Great bump, by the way. Great bump right there.
Has everyone
They killed
watched
Earl
the Macho-
Hebner.
The documentary, which documentary?
The Macho Man one that WWE produced, where they talk about this match
Yes.
and how it's fascinating because the WWE in particular has removed referees so much from the matches, and this is the one where Steamboat and Savage go to Dave and told him that, hey, if you count 3, we don't kick out. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's over.
Actually, they just said Dave Hebner on the closed caption.
It is insanity how much they had on the line with this when you think about it.
So what a match.
Oh,
My lord.
So, yeah, the domino effect on that. So, all right, the urban legend, the lore is true that Ricky Steamboat's wife was just a bitch and wanted him home and he didn't work full time.
Old Bonnie.
Let's say that he's got the IC title working just in insane schedule, going just night in, night out. Do we have a honky tonk man?
No.
Do we have and there's that.
Well, let me rephrase that. We have a honky tonk man. He's never the Intercontinental Champion.
I've always wondered how big, again, when I said about Gino Hernandez, I think it was almost on the first episode. Do we even have, is Razor Ramon that special of that machismo and that certain Latin charisma oozing through? And how quickly is he in WWF? Because Vince was always looking for that next Latin star. And 2, is Ric Flair as special, wheelin' dealin' type of guy? Because Gino Hernandez might have been that. So I always wonder about Ricky Steamboat. Yes, his legacy is always going to be there, the trilogy with Flair. But I wonder if he had stayed consistent, how that would have changed the course of, does Ultimate Warrior have the belt at 6 and is defending it?
That's where my crossroads is.
Yeah, I don't know. That's always, and I hate that these hypotheticals, but this is what goes on.
I love them.
These.
So I think if Ricky Steamboat never takes time off after this title, and you also have to coincide Butch Reed no-shows a show, which leads to Honky Tonk Man getting picked in the hallway.
That's
when
right.
the IC title still hurts my head.
Butch Reed had things to do, man. He was busy.
Build Netflix. I mean, I get it. I'm not arguing with him.
About 25 years ahead of his time.
He owns the last Blockbuster still.
That's. I heard that was going to become a B&B.
Airbnb.
Yeah, an Airbnb.
No,
Fun fact.
it's an Airbnb.
Fun
It's
fact.
a butch. Better, yeah.
Okay, I got
This
you.
kind of dates me,
Bush
but
and breakfast?
I actually managed a Blockbuster Video back in the day.
Good for you.
That's-
That is awesome.
That's how old I am.
But
That is
Blockbuster.
awesome.
I think if Ricky Steamboat after this win works by the way, we still have 2 matches before Hogan and Giant.
Oh my God.
I think if he works the schedule, Honky Tonk Man never wins the title. Ever.
Okay.
And I'll even, because I mean, even for what we don't get the Flair Steamboat trilogy, because I don't think Steamboat leaves.
No more, Mr. Nice Guy.
This guy would make a better Intercontinental Champion than the Honky Tonk Man.
By the way,
that's a great point.
I see this guy around town all the time.
Jake Roberts or Alice Cooper?
Alice Cooper.
Ah.
All the time. Oh, that's the non-gimmick guitar.
Yep, that's
the
the
non-gimmick
one.
guitar.
No, Bruce said it was gimmicked. They didn't take the rod
Yeah.
out. They didn't know there was a rod in it.
Oh God.
Fucker, you didn't take the rod out. Get the rod out.
Kitty. I'll even go as far as say this. I legitimately believe, as good as Steamboat was in the ring, and he was good on promos when he needed to be, I think WrestleMania 6 is Hogan Steamboat.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That's one that could be a rebook event.
So then, okay, and we don't get that ginormous Ultimate Warrior pop against Honky Tonk Man, and oh wow, now my head.
Look at that shot.
You just blew my
Look
mind
at that
right
shot.
there.
My head is.
And
spinning.
if that's the case, if Flair still comes in 92 and Steamboat is still there, does it become a situation, especially since now we've turned Macho Man heel at that point, do they build a stable that becomes Macho Man Perfect and Flair? And now we have Hogan and Steamboat effectively aligned with each other as like a nod to the new Mega Powers.
And you could throw Warrior in there too.
And
You
then
could.
and then by that time you get to WrestleMania 9 and it's no longer Brutus the fucking Barber Beefcake with his metal face, and instead it's Steamboat.
No, Hogan looked out for his friends. You're
Yeah,
probably
it's
still
true.
getting Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Hey,
That's true. It's a good point. But I mean, it's
Steamboat, I like him, but that doesn't work for me, brother.
I can't describe it, but Steamboat had something with the fans. He always did.
Oh
You
yeah.
left out something important though. Assume you get Steamboat Hogan at WrestleMania 6. We assume because of how it actually went down that Steamboat goes over.
No. Hogan leaves champion.
You think so?
Yes.
Play it out the other way though.
Ooh.
Say
But he gets
Steamboat
the
wins
best match ever out of him.
and becomes
Yeah.
WWE champion. Do you take the title away from him after less than a year and go through that god awful Iraqi sympathizer
no.
fit WrestleMania 7?
Well, that's a whole other argument for another time.
oh,
I love Iraqi Sergeant Slaughter.
I do too. I
was great. It was a great angle.
love Iraqi Sergeant.
I
Slaughter.
The
hated
fucking
Maggot.
balls on Sergeant Slaughter to pull that gimmick off.
You
As
stupid puke.
As a kid, I didn't wish death on anyone more than Iraqi Sergeant
But
Slaughter.
he legit knew he was going to get death threats and got them.
Mhm.
Like he knew what that meant, taking that on. Could you imagine the endorsement money when he's doing G.I. Joe and agrees to
God.
go along with this? And how bad would have Sheiky Tugboat been? Ha, please.
Cheeky Tugboat would have sucked a fat dick. Is what would have happened.
Yeah. It would have been
Oh,
awful.
the dick's so fat to do it. Break it in half.
Look at that. I can't even snap it. What a chode that thing is. It look like this. It's like the duct tape. I'm glad we got chode worked into the show.
Yep. Well, there are some other choice words that need to be edited out. So
Well,
Why are we editing that out?
We need, you know,
not showed.
we need to add in Jagbag.
Fair enough. I didn't catch that.
Jagbag and somebody needs to start saying diesel more often.
Why?
Did you? All right. So Rocco explained it, and I guess his dad confirmed it. So Shane named Diesel Diesel because on the East Coast, it means
Diesel means like cool, right?
Yeah, but it means even something more. It's like more badassery. Like, God, that you know that Harley is so Diesel, or that I don't know. I'm coming up with stuff, but like Diesel was just like
No, I
slang
think
for
you got that.
like that's fucking badass. And by the way, speaking of Diesel, I know it's going to be very split down the middle. Conrad was talking about getting that new Tesla truck. I just looked it up, the one with the big engine.
Yep.
Has anybody seen the mock-ups of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's Diesel. That thing is Diesel.
Is that so? The Tesla truck, that it's all electronic. Carl,
Yes.
I'm gonna put the damn shot. You know what?
Yeah, it's not but you can plug in the the Tesla like all-terrain vehicle or go-kart thing
Into it on the trunk, yeah.
On the bed.
or the bed.
Yeah,
I think
trunk.
Why?
Truck guy. No.
Carl, I want you to do me a favor. Blow that smoke again.
And see a Papa
One more time.
Shango.
Yeah. Or you probably can't hear it. It's in my ear. You can't hear it, can you?
It's the Papa Shango music.
Oh,
You
wow.
can't hear it? Can you hear it?
No, I
No,
can't.
We didn't hear it.
Because it's in my ear. Because I have my headphones in. Damn it! I'll get
Damn
to
it.
it. I'll get it eventually.
Speaking of Steamboat, did
God
you guys
damn it!
watch that? Did you guys watch that WrestleMania 25 match with him and was it Jimmy Snuka and then Roddy Piper against Jericho?
Oh,
Like how
yeah.
how they popped when Steamboat came in and started doing his thing.
Yep.
Speaking of which, that could be another dark
so-
side of the ring. Roddy Piper and they obviously already did Snuka, but Roddy Piper could be a good one.
So let me ask you: have you guys ever seen Steamboat wrestle in person,
No.
live?
No.
I wish.
Hold on.
I have not.
So I had the pleasure. I went to Backlash 2009, which was right after that WrestleMania, and he fought Chris Jericho at that show. And that man back then, that's 11 years ago. That guy could still go. I think I was more excited to see him than anybody else in that show. It was amazing.
He even dyed his hair for that match.
My favorite.
Did he dye his hair for that?
Well,
He dyed his hair for that match.
there's certain things that I always laugh at and I always get a chuckle out of, but I almost let things play out of my brain, and I just imagine Bruce and Steamboat standing out next to this tent with like bearded ladies and small people walking around and mimes and trapeze artists, and he's like, you know, you just gotta account for the wind when you're blowing fire. Oh! And like Marv, like getting an iron to the face, like the guy's face is on fire, and his wife has to come out of the trailer. And I just want to, like, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for Ricky Steamboat to be like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not doing that. That guy's face just was a human torch. Not.
Oh God!
So when I was in the
Carl,
potty
that
just
was
now,
that was perfect.
I was kind of running
Go
down
ahead.
Hogan's title foes between now and, you know, the Warrior.
Right.
But I replaced Hogan with Steamboat. So WrestleMania 5 or 4, I don't know what you would have done with Steamboat there because of the tournament. But 5 would have been Steamboat Savage 2.
That was
For the WWF
so
title.
Mega Powers
See,
explode
I
doesn't
mean,
happen?
And you're talking about such a
Who do you turn
butterfly
heel
effect. I mean, the butterfly effect goes so deep that you even think at 7, you don't have Savage Warrior mean as much in that retirement match, and that and Savage lifting Liz on his shoulders doesn't mean as much, all because of a guy not working at a consistent pace.
Yes.
I mean, just think of the butterfly effect, how long term that is. I mean, 89 is a great example of the trilogy.
Yeah.
But even that, I love 7 for that match too.
So there's an interesting question. So if Steamboat never leaves, do we have Savage Steamboat at 3, 4, and 5?
Possibly.
I think $1 Million Man was. What the fuck just?
I think we still get the tournament at WrestleMania 4, but I think instead of it being DiBiase Savage at the end, I think you see it as Steamboat Savage instead.
What about
Yeah.
Steamboat Andre?
Mm.
If Andre beats Hulk Hogan here, like we were talking about.
Well, and here's where I was going to go with this is so you get Savage, Steamboat 2 at least at WrestleMania 5. WrestleMania 6, I'm not sure we get Steamboat and Warrior. You probably get Steamboat and Hogan. And that could be your proverbial passing of the torch, even though, Steamboat had been in the business by 15 years by then.
Right.
And then, but you think of the rivalries in between those, you get, and this is the one I got most excited about. You get Steamboat and the Canadian Earthquake, which I think 89-90 Earthquake was as well as he could move and as dominate and as good as Steamboat was extra level seller. And I think that combination would have been money. A Steamboat and a super agile, super young Canadian Earthquake. And then you get who was after Earthquake? Zeus. Well, I don't know if Zeus comes into the picture anymore.
Zeus.
Oh, why?
By the way, can we do a watch along of No Holds Barred?
Yes.
And
on the show.
Has anybody not seen it? And that's okay if they haven't.
I saw it when it came out. I haven't seen it since.
I've seen
my
I think
brother
I saw that movie once when I was 5.
My brother and I do it every Christmas. We get drunk as fuck and do it right. We do it. Well, we do Home Alone 1 and 2 on the day of, but we do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Catch Me If You Can for some reason after football's over on Thanksgiving night before Black Friday. But then Christmas Eve is always No Holds Barred.
I'm gonna sound like
and Die Hard.
I'm gonna sound like a real nerd for a second, but it's become a Thanksgiving tradition amongst another group of friends of ours that after the second game, we will sit down and watch a pirated version of the Star Wars Holiday Special with commentary from these guys from Australia that make it so much more better than the actual Star Wars Holiday Special.
I like that. I like that Alice Cooper. Not to discount you, Henry. I didn't mean to discount that, but he was scared of snakes, but he bit the head off a bat in a.
That was Ozzy
Osbourne.
That was Ozzy Osbourne. Fuck my life.
Can somebody please do the in Vince McMahon's voice, the No Holds Barred, the match, the movie advertisement for me?
I don't remember how it was worded. Let me see if I can.
Why have a Merry Christmas when you could have a No Holds Barred?
I know.
No Holds Barred. The match, the movie, only on pay-per-view.
Some of those scenes are just so, and I love that the dick guy in Ghostbusters 2 is the main villain in that. What do you think they're throwing at them?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Yeah, yes. I wonder what they're. God, dude, fuck that, dude. Fuck that snake. I'm not fucking picking that thing up. Nope.
Alice Cooper is a steel string beam.
Yeah, he is. He is painfully thin, as Jim Cornette would say.
So, Karl, being a No Holds Barred connoisseur, you should be able to answer this question quite easily. What's that smell?
Dookie.
I don't know what's happening.
By the way, Hulk Hogan kills a man in that movie when the guy is sitting on the front of the motorcycle, and Hulk's like, "Yeah, well, here you go, brother. Just gonna hit the old brake, and you're gonna fly into a tree."
So here's some trivia. Do you guys know the card for the No Holds Barred pay-per-view event before the movie?
Ooh.
I know it was shot. Hey, wait, and one other thing.
I know the main event.
And you
no shit.
You should get this, Levitator. This should be right up your alley. Where was it shot? I'm giving you a clue.
Was it Chicago?
No.
Matt, you're going to kick yourself
it was
for this one.
Savage, Zeus, and Hogan.
I don't think it's where you thought it was, Karl.
No. let me rephrase. The opening of Rip Taylor coming out in the Rip.
I have no idea.
The pre-movie pay-per-view was not. I don't think it was shot where you think it was.
No, I'm not talking about the pre-movie pay-per-view. I'm talking about the actual movie. They had a card, and then they shot this afterwards with real-life fans there, where Rip Taylor gets the win right at the beginning of the movie, and it was the Topeka. What is it? The sports complex, sports center.
Oh yeah.
I covered.
That's
what is it called? God, the Topeka. Fuck me.
Topeka Coliseum?
No. I can't think. It's the capital.
It says the pre-movie card was filmed in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right. I'm
the
seeing
municipal auditorium.
The opening scene of No Holds Barred, where they actually had a card and I can't remember who Rip Taylor beats in the first match to open up the movie, but it was at the Topeka.
Wasn't it Iron Mike Sharp?
I think it is Iron Mike Sharp. Yeah, no, it is. You're right.
That's awesome.
Did you just tell me to shut up? What?
I did. I love Iron Mike Sharp. Underrated.
What do you guys think BG's saying right here?
Probably hyping up the WCW hotline.
1-800-909-9900.
Kids, get your parents' permission before calling.
Or don't. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
I think he's talking about the attendance. Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is the 93,000.
A brand new indoor attendance record of 93,173. Give yourself a big hand.
Fuck you, Dave Meltzer.
Fuck you. So the pre-movie card for No Holds Barred, the opening match was Dusty Rhodes beat the Big Boss Man in 9 minutes and 23 seconds. Ultimate Warrior defeated Dino Bravo in 13 minutes, damn near 14.
Poor Dino.
The Colossal Connection beat Demolition in 10 minutes by countout. Mr. Perfect beat Ron Garvin in 11 minutes. And then the main event was Hogan and Beefcake over Savage and Zeus in 9.5 minutes. That was
right?
in Nashville, Tennessee, yeah.
You know where I would like to know in the movie where they filmed, I think it's where they film NWA Power, the final scene of No Holds Barred, where they're in that ring and they go off like the the side of there's like a control room with glass. And they do a suplex and they go through the ring. I think that's NWA Power. I think that's center stage.
The Chic, baby.
Shiki. What the fuck is Slickster wearing?
Slick is still wearing it.
If you remember,
okay.
Slick got torn up by the Bulldogs and Danny Davis, or not Danny Davis, Tito
It's
Santana.
like Jimmy Hart has 19,000 costumes.
Yeah, Slick didn't have
just
the
got to tie a
costume
knot in his
budget.
shirt.
Yeah, he didn't have the budget. Hart had.
I thought
Sorry.
Well done, Frank. You are now our resident.
Should we track the anthem?
Yes.
Do you want to?
Track it.
Sit down. No. Where's Lawler? Would you sit down, JR? You know the weird thing? Oh, here comes Doug. So that 2x4 from a mile away.
Dude, he's fucking running fast.
You know what's funny is my wife asked me last night.
Was this before the cocaine incident? No?
After. No, I'm sorry. This is
Or
before.
dialysis, I'm sure.
My wife, one of the matches on Primetime Wrestling I watched last night was the Sheik and that McGee guy from Scotland. And she was asking about the Sheik, like what his story was. And I'm like, do you have a minute? Because you might want to fucking sit down. And I gave her the whole I gave her the whole rundown on the Sheik, and I think tonight we're actually going to watch a documentary on Netflix. But she's like, "That dude's killed people." I'm like, "A lot of people."
Wait,
Documentary's
slow down.
phenomenal.
Wait,
The Iron Sheik has murdered people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a rib.
No,
Wait,
he was the
who?
bodyguard for the Shah when he was in Iran.
Oh, that's right. Oh, even in that way.
Okay, that makes a
yes.
lot more sense now.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't just wandering
That's
around
if he
killing
came
people in the
stateside.
States. No, he was the bodyguard for
TJ,
the
you
Shah in
talking
Iran.
about that documentary?
Yes,
You
on
talking
Netflix.
about the documentary on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
It's
yeah,
tremendous.
You guys watch
It's
that. Yeah,
it's like it's that one and the resurrection of Jake the Snake are to me are the two
oh,
best
that's
ones.
another good one, man. Wow.
Beyond the mat. Yeah, Beyond the Mat.
I hate
nothing
Beyond the
more.
Mat.
The Andre documentary on HBO was
Fantastic.
Oh, that's another
Really
tremendous.
How about
Absolutely.
the Ric Flair 30 for 30?
That was
Loved it.
great.
That is my
Oh,
second
that too,
favorite
Jesus.
30 for 30.
Oh, number
keep on-
one.
Go ahead.
Four Falls of Buffalo.
I knew it.
Well,
So
for
Coach
me, I
lost
like the
power.
Vic one.
Yeah, Rosie lost power. So
Tony was
I got to tell
mind
you, those are
you,
hilarious
gentlemen,
when he does that.
so right now we have the Killer Bees against George Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. This is the semi-main event. The next match is Hogan and Andre.
How is Steamboat Savage not the semi-main event?
Yes.
Hey, this
You know,
gets
I think it's
6
good.
stars anywhere in the world.
You could
Popcorn
not have
match.
those go.
This is
Bing,
your P
boom.
match. This is your P match.
You need
Yeah.
exactly. You have to have that gap in there of the crowd just seeing that and then trying to get into. I think that would have been really tough. I'm glad that they had a couple of, go popcorn, pee, get ready to get your
You're ready for the 37 minutes of Brother and then the match between Hogan and Andre.
You know, and that's odd too. Is we just watched 2 matches ago. We saw the IC title get defended. Obviously, we're about to see the WWF title get defended. Earlier in the night, we saw the WWF Tag Champions, but they did not defend the titles. They were in a 6-man tag match. That was the Hart Foundation with Danny Davis against British Bulldogs and who the hell was with him? Tito Santana.
You know,
So it's just odd that you'd have the Intercontinental and the Heavyweight titles up for grabs, but not the tag titles. It's just odd to me.
There was 2 of the 12 matches. There was 2 title matches. Now nowadays it'd be 17 matches with 10
16
championships
title matches
on the line.
I'm looking forward to the Midwestern States Championship coming back, or the Southwestern Heritage title.
Bring back the
I'm
television
gonna
title.
tell you, I'm totally marking out for those Nikes that they're wearing.
I've always thought the WWE needed a TV title.
I agree.
In the basic rule of what a TV title is supposed to be.
Defended on television.
If it gets defended, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It gets defended on
Yeah, but
television.
Vince McMahon would probably say that doesn't work for him.
That's not
Well,
good shit, pal.
It may not work for him, but it damn sure worked for Chris Benoit and Booker T.
Fair point.
Absolutely.
And Arn Anderson.
Would one of you guys mind answering me a question as we're going along toward the main event?
Yes.
With the return of the brand split, I can't say I watch a lot of new WWE, mostly because without a crowd, it's just kind of, I'm not really into the whole Thunderdome thing.
Thank you.
But my
Henry,
question,
I'm with you on that, brother.
are the pay-per-views that aren't specifically the NXT pay-per-views, like with the shows for Raw and SmackDown, do they have their own independent pay-per-views like they did the first time, or is
No.
Well, they did. Did they stop doing it?
And it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was good when they did keep them separate. I thought it was actually good.
I agree.
To your point earlier, it was kind of right where I jumped in. I felt like, to me, if each brand has its own pay-per-view, and then you have like your big four, your SmackDown, that's not a pay-per-view, that's a TV show, Henry. Your WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam, where they all come together. I feel like that would make it a lot easier to tell stories, and you could stretch them out longer because you wouldn't be going for 30 days at a pop.
Exactly. And then only, those 8 pay-per-views are now stretched over 24, and 2 of them are going to be your bleed-in shows and Royal Rumbles, something that's super easy to tell story around. I agree. Their network viewers must have been, and subscriptions just must have been the shits. Like the metrics on it just must have been the shits.
mean, NXT has its own pay-per-views, for God's sake. You'd think they could go back to doing that for Raw and SmackDown. Might make Bruce Pritchard's life a lot easier if he's only got to write for 6 pay-per-views a month or a year.
Do you guys remember? Well, isn't he writing for both shows now?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and also
They
Henry,
did take
were
that
doing
away from Paul
24.
Heyman?
Yeah, they did.
Wait, no, they were doing 6.
That explains why he's working 75 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Heyman is Roman Reigns' manager.
That I did know. I went back and watched the other day the main event from Payback where they broke the ring and Charles Robinson did that weird-ass bump out of the ring.
Oh, yeah.
They're also doing the same promos they were before, which is very disappointing with this.
Yeah, they're trying to make Roman like Brock Lesnar again.
But Brock's allure of his heel nature, you can't fake, because he was a part-time champion. To be a part-time champion, to piss us off, and that's really what he wanted. So it's like, again, whenever it's real, it's always better, right? Like, so
Brock never talked.
That's the other part.
Brock never said, "It's my ring. I'm the big dog." Blah blah blah.
But part of it's because of Brock's voice doesn't match his body.
Sure, I get it. I get it. You're not wrong. But
the
Brock
thing
also
is,
was
like,
never trying to cut any sort of a promo on that. It's
I think Duggan is getting ready to do the Pledge of Allegiance here.
Why didn't they give him a bigger flag?
It's a great question.
Why is it just like a little 4x6 flag stapled to the side of the 2x4?
The small flag makes the rod look bigger.
The thing with
Jim,
Oh,
bring
this was-
bring
Bubba.
Baba, bring 2x4 for car ride so we can do lines of Shiki want the nose candy. Oh no, fuck us, police and back, heel and face driving together. Oh fuck us.
Oh,
because that's the bigger
Bubba,
problem.
you think we could do all lines all at once, Bubba?
The thing with Brock Lesnar, like when he didn't talk, when Paul Heyman was talking, but when like that rare moment where he picks up the mic, you listen.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's gonna say. Like
That's true.
His promo with Heath Slater. Like, I got kids too. I don't give a shit about your kids.
That was great.
Yeah, so let's do a little fun little trivia question that's related to the podcast a little bit. Who was Jim Brunzell's tag team partner in the AWA?
Brian B. Flair. Or wait, no, Brian. Wait, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. No, Brunzell and Gagne.
Yep, Greg Gagne. They were the High Flyers.
How dare you?
Did you know that Greg Gagne
invented the
created
Google
NWO?
games? He invented
You
the Google
guys
games.
have to watch the team competition 89 AWA.
Do we want to track this again?
If you haven't seen it, I played a little bit.
No,
yeah,
probably
sure.
not. We can't understand what Andre's saying.
Hulk Hogan.
Did you guys watch the Andre documentary on
Here we go.
HBO?
Yes.
The adrenaline's gone. This man right here is going to make me famous. He's going to become the heavyweight champion of the world, and I'm going to go down the history book as the manager of the world's heavyweight champion. I'm ready. Hogan, you better be ready.
You know what's bizarre with Bobby Heenan? He was so good. So fucking good. And I guess by comparison, I shouldn't be too shocked. But he managed Flair 92 when he won the title. On and off because he was commentating. So when he was a full-time manager in the WWF, the only champion
hair.
Well, actually, no, he didn't even manage Andre when he won the title. He was DiBiase's contract by then. So Bobby Heenan, outside of Flair part-time, never managed the World Heavyweight Champion in WWF.
Wow.
Realize that.
Now, in AWA, different story, because Nick Bockwinkel was the champion a lot. But Jimmy Hart, I don't think ever managed a world champion in WWF. I don't think he did. But Cornette did. That's what's weird.
Yep.
That is a beautiful belt.
I'm sure Conrad owns it.
Oh,
I almost bought a piece of memorabilia, I think a year ago or so. I don't even remember where I found it, but it was from WrestleMania 1. It was a piece of the ring. It was an autograph. I think it was an autographed Roddy Piper picture, and then it was the Black Panther T-shirt he wore to the ring that night. I almost bought that.
That's amazing. I got this son from a family member, not ring worn, but it does have a Richard Fleer autograph.
Delicious.
Pretty neat.
You need to mirror box that shit, brah.
I know. I can't find a fucking case. I don't even know. I was like on hobbylobby.com and I'm like, what a fucking
Yeah, no,
fairy.
you gotta go. Here's the problem with everything related to collecting. You have to get it all custom framed, and it's the framing is in some cases more expensive than the item you purchased.
Yeah.
The in my Kansas storage unit, which I can't get to, or my Wichita storage unit, which I can't get to. Levitator, we might have to talk about that.
Did
'Cause I'm
Eric Bischoff steal your washer and dryer?
No, I'm quarantined. I'm quarantined for 2 weeks. But no, I have the CM Punk the T-shirt that is from Pro Wrestling Tees. It's him as oh my God, it's a baseball tee. It's track this. Hold on.
Frank.
Tracking, please.
Silverdome is in danger. Not that 19,000 plus on
I
the inside.
have a story to follow up on this.
90,000 plus on the outside of the Silverdome. Those are the ones I'm worried about because when I get my hands on that big nasty giant, when he faces the truth, when he feels the wrath of Hulkamania, the day the whole earth is going to shake. What are those 90,000 plus Hulkamaniacs on the outside going to think? I'm not worried about the people with the closed circuit. I'm not worried about the people all around the world. They'll see it. But the intensity of Hulkamania, the way it's turned this whole state upside down, the way the whole world turned upside down. What are they going to think when the giant hits the ground? He feels the wrath of Hulkamania, and the whole world shakes at my feet.
We could conceivably blow the roof off this great facility, the Silverdome.
Why is Hogan not wearing the title?
Go back to the booth.
It's remarkable that he's cutting heel promos as the babyface also.
So you know what's really bizarre about Hogan? Not 87 so much, but if you go to like 89 through like 92, when the Sid thing happened at the Rumble, he was doing some really heel shit.
Yep.
Yeah, in that Rumble.
And
yeah,
just never got called out on it. And I don't understand why. Now, granted, Heenan and Ventura and those guys would call him out on it, but then they were right. But for some reason, no one else did.
So, quick Hogan impersonation story. Well, Bob Uecker coming out here. So, they had leading up to the Royal Rumble in Phoenix. So this is the one that Seth Rollins won, Becky won, and it was Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, I believe. Yes, I believe
that sounds right.
And it was at Chase Field. It was out there at the baseball stadium. But before that, they had the first ever Royal Rumble access. They had, instead of WrestleMania access, they had a Royal Rumble access. At that, they taped all of the first season of When Worlds Collide. So the matches were like unbelievable. Like it was Humberto Carrillo against Velveteen Dream. I know there's a lot of shit with Dream and stuff. That match, like unreal. There's a lot of really big NXT stars wrestling on that. Adam Cole versus, I want to say Walter at the time. But anyways, it was hosted by Drew Gulak. Like he was doing stuff with fans. I knew a kid was going to win it, but it was in this convention center. The bleachers, no joke, went from where I'm sitting to like there around the ring. There couldn't have been more than 75, 100 people in this section of the convention center because you could go other places, get autographs. Long story short, Drew Gulak comes around and it's like, hey, we're giving away a special autograph signing to somebody that can do the best impersonation. Now, I know that they always pick a kid to win it, and he looks at me, and I had on a shirt that said, And actually, I take that back. That was leading into TakeOver. That was on Saturday, so that was going into TakeOver Phoenix, not Royal Rumble. But I went to all three that weekend. So he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, you!" And I had a shirt on that I made. I always make a shirt when I go, so I made this one. But I had one that just said "More Kyle O'Reilly belt guitar," because when he comes out and he's like playing the belt, like, so I had that shirt on, and he's like, "Hey, how about you in that Mark shirt? Why don't you come out here and do a Hulk Hogan?" And I'm like,
Mark shirt.
and I'm like, yeah, he said Mark shirt. And I go, and I'm like, well, let me tell you something. You want to talk about Drew S.A.? Drew S.A. Well, let me tell you something. Hulkamania won't stand for it. I'm going to get all my little Hulkamaniacs, put them on my back, swim them across the Atlantic, go across the Pacific to some other country, because we won't live in Drew S.A. And what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan runs wild on you? And I get like face to face with him, and he's like, oh my, okay. Like, I just like sliced it as hard as I could. And he's looking at me like, are you a fucking insane person?
Yes.
Probably.
Legitimately insane. So I just have to share that.
So I guess it's not really an impersonation story, but when I bartended at a bar called Matey's here in Michigan City, well, I live in LaPorte, Michigan City is a neighboring town, closer to Lake Michigan.
Hey, isn't Michigan City where Strong Bowl? What's the turkey place?
So there's Panini, which is a pretty famous sandwich place up there.
Strong Bowl.
But
Wow.
Matey's, I was so lucky as a bartender because you're supposed to start at a hole in the wall and work your way up. I started at the top and then slowly slid my way down. So I was the David Flair. I was the David Flair bartending. I started at a casino and then ended up bartending at a Legion. That was my last bartending gig.
Hey, you know, I would say, wait, that Legion is probably where Ruby Riott wrestled.
Probably. She is from Indiana.
She's from your neck of the woods. She's from, yeah.
I think like Hamlin or something like that, but or Hammond. So they have the bar I worked at, Matey's, for 1 year. There was we made $9 million in the summer because they had an outdoor deck, and it was the place to be. And they have this thing. So it was Matey's, it was McGinnis Pub. It was, what are the other two? There's two other bars involved, but they had this thing called the Beer Olympics. So you would go to each, there's like 4 or 5 bars involved, and you go around to each bar. They have their own thing. So at Matey's, we had the Bozo buckets. So the deal is you go to each bar, play their game, and just get fucking trash and then walk to the next one. So we had a team that came in that was dressed up as Hogan, Warrior, Piper, and Flair. So they came in, and I saw them, and I'm bartending. So on the jukebox, I played Real American by Derringer, and then I played the Warriors theme song, and then I played Savages. Or did I say? Yeah, Savage was the other guy.
Pomp and Circumstance, yeah.
So the fourth guy is Piper, is dressed up as Piper. I don't play his song because, for one, I don't know what the fuck it is. And 2, I don't know how to find it on a jukebox. So I never play Piper's song, and then like an actual song came on, like, you know, Lady Gaga or whatever came on after that.
Lady Gaga.
And this dude cut a Roddy Piper promo on me.
Wow.
Oh, don't you know? Oh.
He essentially said, like, everywhere I go, I have to listen to Hogan's song, but I can't hear my song. Why can't I hear my song? I'm always tired of hearing a Hogan song. So I had to get on YouTube and then hook my phone into the sound system of the bar and play Piper's song just so he would quit cutting a promo on me.
Do you realize you were 3 seconds away from a coconut to your head?
I was about to say that.
Damn it.
This scene right here. This right here.
This is it.
Iconic.
Woo!
Yeah, iconic picture.
Fucking goosebumps.
This is WWE in a nutshell right here. This is it. This is the night it all went down.
It's so good on so many levels from a coding perspective too. If you just look at it, Andre's changed the trunks. He's now in the black.
Yep.
Hogan's in the red and the yellow. It's the first opponent, I'm pretty sure, that's substantially taller than him.
I can't remember who was telling the story. It might have been on the Andre documentary. They were talking about this match. It might have been something to wrestle. I can't remember. Now I think about it.
I think it's the I know story you're gonna tell. It's that twinkle in his. Oh, it's Vince saying it, and it's the history of WrestleMania one.
Maybe that was it too, but they were talking about this match and how just scared to death Hogan was.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because what if Andre decides, you know what, I'm winning the title tonight?
There was nothing he could have done about
There's
it.
nothing you could have done about it.
Nope.
It's in the documentary. It's in the Andre documentary. It's also in the History of WrestleMania documentary too.
Yes. Because Vince says, like, yeah, you could see that there was just that, even when he's like trash talking him, there's that little bit of him that he could like.
But I want to say it was
feel.
something to wrestle, because I want to say Bruce was discussing about it, because Conrad said that, nobody knew if Andre was going to do business. And Bruce goes, well, Vince knew. Vince knew Andre was going to do business. And Conrad was like, what? Like, did he tell anyone else? He goes, no. He wanted Hogan to be nervous. It added to the match.
It adds to the anticipation.
Yeah.
That's a hard point to argue with.
And that's one of those things too about not knowing. Whenever I hear JR or Bruce say, no, I didn't know about the Montreal screw job, and initially it's vile, piss and vinegar, so angry that they were left out of the loop.
Yeah.
But then Vince is telling him, I'm doing it to protect you. And my world,
now they're like happy about it.
My world flipped thinking about that. That he was actually trying to protect.
If you knew, then you knew.
And that blew my mind that he had the foresight to.
I think the Hogan not knowing and still freaking out about this and selling right now, when you look at it, it adds to that whole, we actually have a David and Goliath dynamic.
Yeah. And then when you add Bobby Heenan.
Right.
This is just.
And Hogan is the anti-David, is the thing.
Right.
Like, how do you identify the everyman with Hogan ever? But it just, now we do.
And another thing too, this match was so big. How many WrestleManias have we seen where the main event has a special guest referee?
Yeah.
Been a lot. This WrestleMania 3, Hogan Andre, arguably the biggest main event ever. It's so big. Who's the referee? Joey Morella. They didn't need a special guest referee. They didn't need it. This is already the biggest match probably ever in the history of wrestling. Just by magnitude standards. Yes. Nobody went into this match thinking it was going to be a fucking classic. But which to me, the fact that it gets judged that way is idiotic. But magnitude-wise, it doesn't get bigger than Hogan and Andre.
So is Hogan on? Now I'm gonna toss these in there. I'm gonna give you guys two other options and let just. I feel like a call. Hey, you're on the phone with Sports Talk 910. Go ahead, caller. Yeah, this match, Hogan Andre Saturday night's main event, plastic surgery, double rev, or Goldberg over Hogan WCW Nitro.
Ooh, that's an interesting thought, because that's both network television.
Where are you coming from?
I say double ref.
Like an impact, a cultural impact, a
rating. Saturday night's main event.
maybe I was doing ratings, because if you said impact, even though it wasn't the best match and the guy is laced on somas and painkillers, that being HBK, I mean, I think impact and turning point is Sean losing to Stone Cold.
Sure, probably is 14. God, his forehead is so laced up.
It really is.
Like Abdul, it's like as bad as Abby's, where you could fit like a poker chip in it. And you fucking stick.
So
it in
I
there.
know television rating wise, I don't know if there's ever been
There's
a match
nothing
that
like
drew
main
higher
events.
than Hogan and Andre in WrestleMania. I'm looking at it right here. February 5th, 1988, Hogan and Andre for the title, 15.2.
Oh my God.
But it
33
does
million
not draw
viewers.
that
Is that even a real
without
number?
three.
That's not really a
Like,
fair comparison, though, because
It
that was
How many
doesn't.
million?
It doesn't draw that without this.
Fact.
That's true.
Fact.
Does it draw it as Andre as champion too?
Well, even so, okay, let's take
Right.
Goldberg and Hogan in
It could
97.
be bigger.
Right. Let's take Goldberg and Hogan in 97 on Nitro. If you took that Nitro and that Raw and combined the audiences, I don't even think we hit 10, let alone 15.2, 33 million viewers. That's fucking bananas.
I can't
I
argue with
can't.
you.
I can't. I mean, like to think if the. I mean, like at the time too. Think how much smaller the population is of the United States, and I'd love to know what the. I'm gonna look. I'm actually looking it up right now. You said the number was what for Hogan and Andre?
15.2. 15.2.
And that was 1989.
88. It was a month before WrestleMania 4. That's actually what led up to the
What
tournament.
was the Goldberg number?
I think it was in the sixes. Let me Google. Get on the old Google.
Oh, Jesus.
I want to say it was like 5 and change.
I think it got 6.
So 15.2, is that 15 million viewers?
No, that's
No, that's
33 million viewers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
Oh
there's
my
share and there's
Households.
well, right, and how many people in that household are watching? So you got to think like more than one.
So we typically go twofold.
Goldberg and Hogan got a 6.9.
And what's that equate to in millions of viewers?
12.
So it's less than half of Hogan and Andre. So I would say,
14,
yeah,
14-ish.
probably 13, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there.
All right, so I knew this from broadcast class. Highest non-sporting, if you want to call this, non-sporting, was the MASH finale, which had 105 million people.
Outside of the Olympics, that's still the highest rated television viewing ever.
The number
the
one
MASH
thing in
finale.
America is 114 million people for Super Bowl XLIX, which was February 2015. Was that Carolina and Denver? No.
That's the Prince Super Bowl
2015, I
halftime
think
show.
Oh, that
right?
was that Seattle, Denver.
Did
That was-
2000 win?
I'm saying I'm just trying to. I should just click on it. Like, oh no, that was New England. That was New England, Seattle. The interception at the goal line. It's the most watched.
They should have ran the ball.
Yeah, outside of sporting events, the highest rated television event was the MASH finale.
I've never seen MASH in my life.
How does that relate to the Kennedy assassination before cable?
See, that's tough because like Princess Di got a lot, even though that was at her funeral got like a ton. And
Right.
fuck, I'm trying to think of some other ones. Like the Bill Clinton coming clean speech or addressing the nation was up there. I Love Lucy's up there. The $64,000 question is up there. But this
Really?
is all Beverly
That's
Hillbillies.
shocking.
Beverly Hillbillies got a 20.18 on CBS for their.
I believe that.
What did the Seinfeld finale get?
A lot.
Dallas Dynasty.
Yeah, I know that.
Home
that
Improvement. Wow.
The Seinfeld finale and the Friends finale get talked about a lot.
Dude,
But it's modern era ish.
Right. Yeah.
How about
right?
the first guy to win at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? In the States, that is. Drew
Andre.
Oh God.
Easy way over, brother.
Is that the slowest?
The
This
slowest back
isn't
up.
working for me, brother. Fucking what's it? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? 28.53 share. Oh my
God about the state.
Yeah, so pretty much the only thing that regularly gets high viewers every single time is the Olympics, and even I think the swimming maxes out on that every 4 years.
And they are way down right now.
Yeah.
Like way, way down.
Super excited to watch the one in Korea.
Oh, we're hulking up.
Oh, he's hulking up.
We still have 10 minutes to go, by the way. I don't. Yeah,
What?
and I always think it's odd
There it is.
that this match gets this. Well, the match itself wasn't that good. It's like, motherfucker, it wasn't supposed to be. It's Hogan and Andre. Andre could barely walk.
I mean, but it's not that bad when you watch it.
In all things
Body
considered.
slam? No.
Not at all.
All things considered, Andre put up a hell of a performance here.
Andre worked his fucking ass off.
And I remember one of the lasting memories for me of the Andre documentary, and I can't get it out of my head no matter how hard I try, is they were doing a close-up, not intentionally, but they were showing Andre's legs towards the end, and he had just had a knee surgery.
Oh, God, yeah. All those
and
scars.
the top of one of the scars was open.
Oh,
And I was like, oh.
I remember that now.
What are we doing? Like, what?
You know, the crazy thing about Andre, my wife heard this story about him, and this is why she loves him to death and will never not love Andre the Giant. The one thing that he ever wanted to go to was a musical. He wanted to go to a Broadway musical on Broadway, right? And he never went because the only chairs that he would probably be able to fit in were on orchestra row. So front row. That's the only way he would have enough leg room. And he was concerned that people behind him wouldn't be able to see.
That is so nuts and sad.
I remember he lived in that farm in North Carolina because he just met that family and just fell in love with them. And my sister watched that. Now, and she's the one that got me into wrestling, but by 92, she was out. And I think that she told me right after the documentary came out, like, we need to go to that farm where Andre said. I'm like, well, for one, he's dead. He's not there anymore. And two, I don't know if they're cool with that. Hey, we know you guys probably have a life now, but we want to see the farm Andre grew up, lived at before he died.
Right.
Wow.
I've done some weird shit like that. Like I went to the when I was living in Florida, I purposely went down to the Versace mansion where what's his name got gunned down by Andrew Cunanan, and I went to the OJ site. Like if I'm ever in those areas, I actually have odd fascination. That's why we need to do a serial killer episode.
Waiting on you, Gloria.
I'm here for a legal perspective, by the way, brah.
I've read so many serial killer books, and actually, I was going through my garage yesterday, and I found another one I read. It was called "See No Evil," and it's about the conspiracy behind the Sam Berkowitz Summer of Sam murders in 76, 77.
And TJ, I got your documentaries flipped with the ones you were talking about. The Devil Next Door, about the guy that the German.
That was
guy.
good.
The Devil You Know.
The Devil You Know is okay. The Devil Next Door. Has anybody seen that on Vice on Pazuzu? That devil worshiper.
That's the Devil You Know.
Oh, that's the Devil You Know. We're talking about the same one.
Yeah.
The Devil Next Door is the German guy.
Yes.
Okay.
No, the Russian guy that they thought
or Russian, right?
that I thought was a spot.
Which one did you? I can't remember when you mentioned it. It was like in the Blue Meanie chat, or
yeah, it was.
Okay, which one were you referring to? Because I get them confused.
Pazuzu.
I fucking love Pazuzu.
That
like
one was
that,
bananas.
Nuts. And that band Prayers that they use throughout it is actually really good if anybody enjoys new wave 80s, but now.
My sister lives, so that took place in, oh God, somewhere in North Carolina. I can't remember the exact town name off the top of my head. I want to say it was like Pittsboro or Hillsboro, one or the other. My sister and my mom, so my sister lives in that area. My mom was an hour away. They had no idea that this happened. And I watched it first. And I was like, you guys have to watch this. It is fucking crazy.
TJ, what's it called? What's this called?
The Devil You Know.
It's on Vice. Well, now it's on Hulu because they just got bought out. I believe everything is now transferred over. Like all Dark Side of the Ring and everything is over on Hulu now. But no, it
is the most batshit documentary you'll ever watch.
Did you Frank,
there
did
is
anybody
Tiger King.
There is, but I thought Class Action Park was great. Frank, I'm telling you, McMillions, and I know TJ, you've seen it. This story is it blew
I'm gonna watch
my fucking mind. It's long. It's 6 parts. Oh,
if they weren't interviewing FBI agents,
I'm not done with it. By the way, I'm not done with it.
I'm not gonna give anything away. But if they weren't interviewing FBI agents that were actually involved in the case and the documentary, I would think it was bullshit.
Yeah, there's nobody. If this happened to, like, let's say the TV show The Price is Right, or some other thing that had legitimacy to it, I can't believe the story never got out, and how fucking insane it is. Where does he go?
Can I ask, guys? I need to highly recommend Challenger on Netflix.
I just saw that. And I'm getting ready to watch it.
The Last Flight.
Right now, I'm in the middle of watching New York versus the Mafia. That's what I'm watching right now.
What is that at?
The Netflix, but the Challenger's up there. That's next on the list.
Is there any Office fans? Anybody love The Office?
I love The Office.
That you gotta listen.
I never watched it.
You gotta, if you are an Office fan, or like me, like I study it, the oral history of The Office on Spotify, as told by Brian Baumgartner, who played Kevin Malone. If you ever need a break from wrestling podcast,
that was a wonderful joke you told right there, Karl.
You're hilarious.
What did I? Wait, was I supposed to be telling the joke? I don't. What did I miss?
What happened?
Well, I only listen to wrestling.
Hey guys, my son's here.
Hey!
Say hey, big boy.
What's his name again?
Jack.
Jack.
What's up, buddy? Where are you going? Where are you trying to go? You want my phone?
Where are you going, Jack?
Oh, you want to? I have a game on my phone. He likes to play with me. We'll play in a minute, buddy.
TJ, real quick, where did you the winged eagle behind you? Is that just something out of WWE shop?
Yeah, it's just from the shop.
The replica?
So this was actually a wedding present.
Ooh,
so
really,
I'll tell the story how I got it. So it was we got married October 16th, 2015, and we had just done our first dance. And my cousin David, who's also a lifelong wrestling fan, comes up to me, and he goes, he's like, him and his wife come up to us and separate us. And he goes, "Do you trust me?" And I said, "Not when you start a sentence like that, no."
Right.
So him and my buddy Andy had this impromptu match idea in their mind. So essentially it was me and David, and Andy was the referee. And we had an impromptu match that, of course, I won with the mandible claw. So I'm like, well, that's cool. We just had like a little match in the middle of my wedding. And then they bring the belt out. And his wife brings it out. And I go, "Who's that for?" And his wife goes, you dumbass. And now I wore the next day. He got his tickets to Notre Dame USC was the next night.
Was that the Bush push?
No, this was the shootout in 2015. It was like 51-47 or some crazy shit. And they had there was 3 drives in a row that had 50-plus yard touchdowns. And I had my jersey on, and I wore that belt to the game. And the funniest part of the night was we were at the bookstore buying merchandise, and I had the belt on around my waist. And the the cashier, and I'm not making this up. I'm 5'10", 215 pounds. I'm not a physical specimen whatsoever. And the cashier at the bookstore goes, "Are you a UFC champion?" I go, "No."
You probably look like it. Probably with how jacked you were that day. I bet you.
I'm nowhere near a UFC champion. I've never been in a fight in my life, so no to all of that.
What about the NWA one behind you?
So the NWA one I bought from High Spots at the Raleigh Comic-Con in 2017. I think it was.
Is it just a replica or like a belt? Was it expensive?
It's $250. I mean, it's not. The leather's kind of thin. You can tell the plates a little, like they're not. There's no removable nameplate, nothing like that. It's the word of replica. But I like it.
I want to get one.
I know my next belt, I can't remember how I found it, but the big gold on VanDuBelts.com, they actually make the replica of the Kurumrai silver-backed big gold belt, like the first version.
Nice.
That's next on my list, and they have a layaway option, and I think it's like $2,400. That's going to be next.
Yeah. All right, wait. And then I'm gonna toss this one out there, only because I have an answer. I'm not trying to. What would be a random, like not a belt? So it cannot be a belt, but you get to go into the WWF. We talked about this with like going into Bruiser Brody's storage unit.
Yes.
You have to go into the WWF warehouse and pick one item, and it can't be a set and it can't be a belt.
Oh.
What are you taking?
I'm taking a wrestling ring.
I want.
That's a good.
I want the
answer.
WrestleMania 6 ring skirt.
Oh,
this will go real nice on the ring I'm taking.
Off of.
There you go.
Where do you display that?
My backyard.
Do you put it over your house?
Well,
don't you worry. I'd
definitely
find somewhere to put it.
backyard dreams.
Okay, this is not going where I thought it was going to go.
TJ, what would you get?
Where did you think it was going to go?
I didn't see the first 2 answers being the WrestleMania 6 ring skirt and the Hell in a Cell from '98. See, now I want to go more like low-key asinine type of thing, like no one would think about.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You want to go with real feng shui, some sort of nice Asian balance, or I shouldn't say Asian balance, maybe Middle Eastern balance to your casa. So maybe a Punjabi prison match full of bamboo.
I tell you what,
to all of that. But
I've got 6 kids, so for me, it's got to be the first ever Elimination Chamber.
Yes,
nice.
Well done. Well played.
Can you just have spotlights going? Who's coming out next?
Whole setup.
Get Henry in here first. I'm gonna think about this.
Yeah.
What was the question?
If you could go into the WWF warehouse that they have in Stamford and pick out any one item, and it can be it just can't be a belt, and it can't be a costume like a robe or something,
or a set.
Well, we've got the WrestleMania 6 ring skirt, the Undertaker Mankind Hell in a Cell from King of the Ring '98. He rejected the Punjabi prison, but we do have the Elimination Chamber. There's one thing we lack to make any of these work, except maybe the ring skirt. You know what that is? A goddamn wrestling ring.
God
But not
damn
a
it, Kyle.
WWE wrestling ring. I want the wrestling ring with the old WCW shoot logo in the center of the ring.
Oh.
I got it. I know what I want. And
Okay.
thank you, Henry, for the ring comment. Because that's what
You're
spurred
welcome.
it. I want the canvas from WrestleMania 13.
Ooh, with Austin's blood all over it?
Yes.
That's actually really badass. I'm gonna go with something easy to display, and as Matt mentioned, something you can put into a case. I want the Mae Young hand. I'm not even
go to the WWE warehouse for that.
I'm not even joking. I seriously was thinking about it. I would love to have that.
I was gonna say that.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Damn it, Santos. I'm sorry.
All right. I would take Barbie.
Barbie?
No, actually, Barbie or Moppy.
Moppy.
Oh,
Moppy.
Moppy would.
Nobody wants head?
I was waiting for it.
Somebody's got to change your answer to
from
head.
it's coming from Rebel, I'll take some head. Oh, I'm sorry, that was my bad.
God, I gotta edit more shit now.
Oh, you can leave that in.
I know.
You got to cut out Coach Rosie going Booker T on
Hey,
us.
hey, you know what?
What exactly did I miss?
You didn't miss anything.
No, let's not get into it because no one else is gonna hear it either. Unless you were here, you're not gonna know.
Coach is high as a kite.
Top Guy Theater exclusive, folks.
Yeah, Jesus. Don't miss the action.
Bonus content. You know what? Hey, let's hit up Gawker and see if we can get Rosie some money. Why is our shit at the end always funnier when we're like not watching wrestling? We're just like kicking it.
Best part about it.
You guys were watching wrestling?
The fuck's going on? You guys watching? Hey, you guys watch WrestleMania 3? What the fuck's happening?
Hey.
Well, actually, mine automatically went to WrestleMania 4. So that's
I got an idea.
I got an idea.
Oh, our
How about I
attorney
win the
left.
belt and beat everyone's ass?
How would you get that Liv Morgan out here and she can beat me? Whoa, what? Good Lord. No, we're not doing
I got a little thing for Ruby Riott.
I do too. I think, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Especially because she's a Hoosier.
Hey, Matt's back.
What happened there, Matt?
Well, I thought I was going to go get Chinese food, and then I walked out the door to my little study, office, reading room, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and my wife's gone, so she either left me or she went and got Chinese food.
She left me.
Was she going to a buffet or was she going to a restaurant to get Chinese food?
No, just a restaurant. This had all been discussed in advance, which is part of the reason that I've been popping in and out, but
that's fair.
I mean, that's literally the two spectrums of life. Like one of the worst things that could happen and one of the best things, a woman bringing you Chinese food. Like, I mean, I don't know if there's anything.
Now I want Chinese food.
I'm literally looking on DoorDash right now.
I'm pretty sure my wife brought me home pizza, so.
Karl, you got the Dash Pass?
I do it, dude. Dash Pass saves so much in Phoenix. It's insane. Like,
I know.
It is in Dash Pass. I'm sure that and then what's the Uber Eats one? The Eats Pass or whatever it is. That one, dude. You save like. Oh, by the way, I think yesterday or today is National Pepperoni Pizza Day. Just randomly, I was leaning that way, but now I
go well with Chinese food.
Yeah, I really want Chinese now. Fucking.
Well, I guess while we just sit here and discuss dinner plans, that's it for tonight's Top Guy Theater. WrestleMania 3.
Wait a minute. Can I just say something before we go? I want to track something for you guys because I think I have an idea for what our next show should be. I'm serious now. Hold on.
But is it going to be one of the podcasts from next week? Because that's kind of how the show's based off of.
But this would be better. Listen, hold on.
This would be better.
Listen. One of my favorite intros. Hold on, ready? Here it is. Come on.
Ooh, wait, don't tell me.
The Mega Power.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's WrestleMania 6.
5.
Or 5, yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there.
But the
You know I can track
two best intros ever to a pay-per-view is SummerSlam 89 and Great American Bash 91.
Is there anybody here that can do that WrestleMania 6 title for title, champion versus champion thing with Vince McMahon?
If somebody types it out.
Can we borrow Conrad, do you think? Just for that?
WrestleMania 6, I used to watch it every morning, so it's been a while, but I used to be able to do the entire intro from start to finish.
Wow.
I tried to get
upon the examinations, the galaxies of space, that whole thing.
I tried to get Conrad, Silva, or JR for my kickoff live. I tried so hard to have a run-in for you guys, but
I tried to have one tonight, as the group chat would know, and I was right. He did not answer. It was Jimmy Hart. But I'm going to continue to try to have run-ins on this show. So
just tell me Blue Meanie to run in.
I tried the Blue Meanie, and I tried Meanie too for my kickoff, and he got back to me and could not do it.
I mean, I was kind of like the run-in for today.
While you're on the phone with him.
True.
No,
Henry was our run-in today.
We follow each other.
I mean, I'm not famous, but
he followed me, and I followed him back. I probably followed him first after Cole Cabana's podcast dropped, and so we've DM'd previously. So I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, are you available that Thursday night?" He's like, "I can't. I'm with the missus." He's like, "Or else I would make a run-in for you guys." I was like,
Carl, what you should have done, what you should have done, Carl, is when Blue Meanie called you, like, I'm sorry, I can't talk on this phone. Here's this Zoom number. Get on the Zoom number. I could probably talk to you there. And then, boop, there's Blue Meanie on our screen.
Unfortunately, it was not Zoom. It's StreamYard. So I've been really.
No.
You can kind of add this link.
Today. No, he was talking
about today. We're talking about today.
Oh.
He was with his co-host, and after 15 minutes, they're like, "We could talk to you for a long time, but we have a lot of calls to make." And I'm like, "Okay." And I still not got my goddamn call from Conrad.
I missed mine.
I was waiting to get adjusted at the chiropractor when I got mine.
I got mine, but my mind went blank. I didn't really know what to say.
I had just chugged an energy drink when I got mine. I just finished one off, so I sounded like a raving lunatic.
It's all right, Phil. I sound like a raving lunatic all the time. It's kind of my normal setting.
Were you like Robin Williams nuts? Were you like, "Oh, there's Mr. Happy. Oh, look at this. I just like fucking going off. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to talk to him about. I honestly don't know.
That's where I was. I'm with Santos. My mom went blank. It was just what I'm going to do.
Was yours shown on AFS?
No.
All right.
There's the Medusa picture.
Hey, by the way, for those that are a low-key big hog or a glass-bottom boat rider, we get to do a countdown. Here is the countdown. I'm going to give it to you since I haven't played it. Here's the countdown that I did for Tony. So in case you don't get it, because is it only on bonus episodes?
No,
it's on all
doing it on all of my sites.
Here
Wait,
you go.
Has yours aired yet, Carl?
Nope.
Has it aired yet?
Alrighty, this is Karl Mandic, WHW Countdown. Take 1 in 3, 2, and 1. Hey, this is Karl Mandic in Scottsdale, Arizona, by way of Chicago, IL.
I was trying to do Casey Kasem, by the way.
I get the cadence now.
Sorry.
By way of Chicago, IL. A loyal, devoted supporter of What Happened When. For the countdown, I'm going to deliver a limerick, one that I've never shared, from a Lanny P. Oh, gosh, that is vague. You can call him El Pafo. Yeah, seriously, this guy is a genius. One man enjoys meat from a can. Pop Pop dines on hummus because he's the man. Noah toyed with Johnny B. Bad's Master Blaster. He also left Lois's arm in a cast made of plaster. Yes, I can fold myself in two, yet I leave my grapefruits oh so blue. He screams each night, that's right, that's Whitney Wright, from his Batcave fort. Nevertheless, Tony, you are the voice of our great sport. 3, 2, 1, play.
Play.
I don't believe I'm about to say
Carl,
this, but
that's
this may go down in history as the
fucking
greatest night in the history of our great sport.
Dude, it took me forever to write that. Like, I was sitting on Frank. We were texting, and I like ghosted you. When that happened, we were just. It was right after we had done our episode, and we were gonna do part 2, and I kind of ghosted you a little bit. I literally stayed up, and I was trying to rhyme like the words together, and I couldn't get it. I was throwing shit. I was so angry. And then I finally like got it down. And I'm like, all right, hopefully they get the reference that Lanny Poffo can fold himself in half and suck his own.
They will.
Hey, Poffo.
Anybody who listens to what happened when I'll probably get a read
Absolutely.
But that's why I love that guy's strip club intro. I thought that was fucking
That was
unreal.
tremendous. Which I don't know if you noticed, if you went back and watched last week's episode with the fact checking in place, that was DJ Turner. I went back and listened to it.
Wait a minute, the new fact checker? Wait.
So
Start
last
over.
week's episode, after I put the pop-up video part in, I went back and listened to it. It was DJ Turner. I put that in the episode because you asked that.
I missed that. All right, I'm gonna go back and watch.
I don't know a better way to end this show right now.
I got nothing.
I mean, after
fantastic.
Carl's countdown, I'm blank. I've been.
I
stunned.
can't wait to hear it. I hope
I've been stunned.
I hope he uses it.
So, for this episode of Top Guy Theater, WrestleMania 3, Bobby Heenan, Frank Bruno, Karl Mandick, Antonio Santos, Henry Evingham, Phil Jackson, and Matt Levitt. See you guys next time on Top Guy Theater.